Hey folks, Jackdaw here. How are we all doing? Oh my goodness, we have the brand new Game Informer cover story right here to go over today. Before we get into that, I just want to gauge everybody. It's literally been a week since we had the Dragon Age gameplay reveal, and now we have a brand new Game Informer article to go over today. 12 pages long, I believe. Now, I, in the UK, have had an issue being able to get this because it's only for Americans. But I just want to give a massive, massive thank you to Wesley LeBlancs for telling me that I'm okay to stream this. I'm absolutely in my full coverage as a YouTube content creator to be able to cover this article today, because I know you have to pay for it to get a subscription, all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately for us Brits and Europeans and apparently even Canadians, they can't stream it. Sorry, they can't read this. They can't get the subscription, they can't get the delivery address. So we're here today to go over all of this. We have full permission, because I was really worried about, I haven't got my tinfoil hat on, sorry. I haven't got my tinfoil hat on. What am I doing? We have full permissions to cover all of this, because I was absolutely planning to do this anyway, but no, we actually do. So many of you here already. Hi everybody, how are we doing? So to give everybody up to the same pace, I know we're already excited, we're all raring to go. I literally have some calming tea right here in my French Bulldog mug, but it's absolutely not going to calm me down because I'm so excited. I haven't read a single thing on this, so no spoilers in the chat just yet, folks, but we are going to go through this brand new Game Informer article that, following BioWare's summer reveal of Dragon Age the Veilguard, they have had an exclusive deal with Game Informer to cover loads of information, brand new. Apparently, we're getting the identity of the two elven gods, or whoever they are, in this article. So by the end of this, in the next half an hour, we're all gonna know who they are. We've all been thinking Gillinan, and I've been thinking at least Gillinan and Elganan. Literally, in the next couple of minutes, we're gonna find out exactly. So tinfoil is not necessary. Blazing Tiger, tinfoil is absolutely necessary. So we're going to jump into this. Just a quick preface to what we're going to do. I'm going to read over this. Don't worry if you join in a bit late or whatever happens with that regard. We're going to go over this, break it down over and over and over again. I am going to try and calm down a little bit so I can read it properly to you all. Let me know first of all, how's the quality of the stream? Are we doing okay? Are we looking all right? Is it lagging? Are there any gaps? I can't tell. My laptop's it's been on fire this past week of all this news. But it looks like it's okay over here. But how are we all doing? Let me know. It's been a week since the gameplay reveal. We've had so much stuff to talk about. And I'm on fire. I'm so excited to be doing this today. And I'm so thankful and grateful from the community to be such a figurehead right now in this space. So I really am so appreciative. I've literally grown 1,000 subscribers in a week. And that is more than I grow in a year. So I just want to say, really, thank you all from the bottom of my heart. It means so, so much to me. I really, really, really massively appreciate it. People are saying the stream looks really good. Cam gets stuck sometimes. I'll keep on monitoring that. Let me know if anything buggy happens. It looks okay over here. But yeah, stream's okay. Settle down, Jackie. I'm going to try, Synergy. I'm going to try. Let me have a sip of tea. You are beautiful. Thank you, Ruby. Looking good. Fantastic. All right, folks. I'm gauging. Everybody's super excited. You need a tinfoil hat in the shape of one elven god. I absolutely do. Right, okay. So I'm going to put this tea over here so I don't spill it. And we are going to read this out. I'm going to calm down and we're going to go for this. So, Game Informer, the Dragon Age the Veilguard. Let's go through this. So I believe the Dragon Age the Veilguard 12-page story is some point in the middle. I'm going to read this all out. I'm going to read all the parts that are necessary to it. So, Dragon Age the Veilguard. We visited BioWare for an exclusive look at the newly named Dragon Age the Veilguard. Our cover highlights the 7 companions, Rook, the player character, will meet, sorry. Our cover highlights the 7 companions, Rook, the player character, will meet on their journey to save Phaedus. We've got a deep dive into an elven academic veil jumper, Balara Lutara. We got a surname. Balara Lutara, who can be spotted up front and center in the cover image, and details on details on others like returning characters, Lace Harding and private detective Neve Gallus, beginning on page 28. Okay, let's go. Let's spill the tea. Tuned in just in time, you did, Joey Wild. look at that Polaris Tarot card, which looks fantastic. It's been 10 years since the last full-fledged game in the franchise, but BioWare is finally ready to pull back the curtain on what's next for the fantasy world of Thedas. We visited the studio, spoke to the game's creators, and discovered what's changed in the highly anticipated new installment. My boy Jackdog coming in clutch on the Game Informer article. Absolutely, Caleb. Hello, Decaster Dust. How you doing? We are just starting. I'm just reading all the comments and trying to gauge all of this. Everybody's so excited. Perfect time for lunch. I'm so glad. So exciting. Hello, Megwin. How you doing? Hello, Vanna Banana. How you doing? Follow me since 2016. Thank you. Elisa, favorite YouTuber. Thank you. Sorry, favorite Dragon Age YouTuber. Right. Okay. Let's waste no time. Let's go to page 28. I do love Game Informer in terms of their coverage. Regardless of people's opinions of Mass Effect Andromeda, Game Informer, their coverage has always been fantastic, and they've always had a really close relationship with BioWare. So I'm really happy that they've actually got kind of an exclusive deal with them. And also, if you want to read this article for yourself, you want the physical copy, I do have to just acclaim here that thanks to Wesley the Blank, who has told me that I'm absolutely okay to stream this, you can totally subscribe to Game Informer. You can get your physical copy of this, which is coming out soon, but you can read this too as much as you'd like. Okay, enough of that. Let's read this. Here we go. Look at that cover art immediately. Look at Balara shooting what looks to be an elven kind of enemy, or an elven kind of spirit in the Arlathan Forest, showcasing immediately kind of the aspect of the Veil Jumpers. The reading is about to begin, folks, so we're just going to go for this. Right, here we go. So, by Wesley the Blank, who again allowed me to cover this, returning to the magic. Nearly 10 years since the last entry, and some stumbling blocks along the way, BioWare aims to recapture the spirit of its storied past with Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let me just take a sip of tea to soothe my throat. Need to get some food, but I'm taking my headphones with me. It's crazy how fast we've gone from no news to good news every week. Sydney, I 100% agree. I've gone from like, maybe I'll do a video on like Solas again, and Varric, to Balara, Nev, gameplay, Solas's Redlium dagger thing, the Elven Gods. Ah! It's fantastic. Okay. So, PlayStation, so platform, ooh, can we zoom in? I don't want to scroll and go too far. Let me put it in full, we're in full screen, yeah. Platform, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, style, player action, role-playing game, EA is publishing it, release, still the fall 2024, they did not give the release date to BioWare. Obsidian, you are not late, we are just starting. Okay. Throughout my research and preparation for a trip to BioWare Edmonton, Canada office for this cover story, I kept returning to the idea that its next game, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, formerly subtitled Dreadwolf, is releasing at a critical moment for the story's developer. The previous installment, Inquisition, hit PlayStation, Xbox, and PC a decade ago. Sorry, I want to zoom in. Can I zoom in? We can try. Yeah, can we try? You gonna let me zoom in? You're gonna go blurry. No? Okay, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna be leaning a bit more forward so I can read it properly. Inquisition hit PlayStation, Xbox, and PC a decade ago. It was the win BioWare needed following the 2012 release of Mass Effect 3, with its highly controversial and for many disappointing ending. Inquisition launched 2 years later in 2014 to rave reviews and eventually various Game of the Year awards, almost as if a reminder of what the studio was capable of. Now, in 2024, literally 10 years later, coincidentally, the next Dragon Age finds itself in a similar position. Also a really good point. BioWare attempted a soft reboot of Mass Effect with Andromeda in 2017, largely seen as a letdown among the community, and saw its first live service multiplayer attempt in 2019's Anthem, Flounder in the trickly waters of the genre. It aimed for a No Man's Sky-like turnaround with Anthem next, but that rework was cancelled in 2021. Like its predecessor, BioWare's next Dragon Age installment is not only a new release in a beloved franchise, but it is another launch with the pressure of BioWare's prior misses. A game fans hope will remind them the old BioWare is still alive today. Absolutely, absolutely. Hello, Jason. How you doing? Jack, you're my favourite British. Thank you, Megan Online. I'm going to see if I can zoom in. People are saying in the chat I can. I'm in full screen mode already. And I don't think it will let me do any more. Yeah, it really doesn't want me zooming in. So I apologise, folks. It's fine. It's fine. So, having been in the industry for 25 years, you see hits and misses. And it's all about building off of those hits and learning from those misses. BioWare General Manager Gary McKay, who's been with the studio since January 2020, tells me, as McKay gives me a tour of the office, I can't help but notice how much Anthem is scattered around it. More than Mass Effect, more than Dragon Age, there's a lot of Anthem. Posters, real-life replicas of its various javelins, wallpapers and more. Recent BioWare news stories tell of leads and long-time studio veterans laid off and others departing voluntarily. Veilguard's development practically began with the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. When I asked McKay about the tumultuousness of BioWare and how he, as the studio manager, makes the team feel safe in the product it's developing, he says it's about centering on the creative vision. When we have that relentless pursuit for quality and we have passion and people in the right roles, a lot of other stuff you're talking about just fades into the background. That's a sentiment echoed throughout the team I speak to. Focus on what makes a BioWare game great and let the Veilguard speak for itself. Great. Though I had no expectations going in, it's been 10 years since the last Dragon Age. After all, and BioWare has been cagey about showing this game publicly. My expectations have been surpassed. This return to Thedas, the singular continent of the franchise, feels both like a warm welcome for returning fans and an impressive entry point for first-time players. Cool. Bit of backstory there on Gary McKay and everything like that. Let's get into the actual content. If you're British, remember to register to vote. Random, I am registered. Thank you, though. New age, new name. At the start of each interview, I address a dragon-sized elephant in the room with the game's leads. What was Dragon Age Dreadwolf is now Dragon Age the Veilguard. Why? These games are reflections of the teams that make them, and as a part of that, it means we learn a lot about what the heart and the soul of the game really is as we're developing it. Veilguard game director Corinne Bush tells me, we quickly learned and realised that the absolute beating heart of this game is these authentic, diverse companions. And when we took a step back, as we always do, we always check our decisions and make sure they still represent the game we're trying to build. Dreadwolf no longer did that, but each member of BioWare I speak to tells me the Veilguard does. And while I was initially abrasive to the change, lore aside, Dreadwolf is simply a cool name. I warmed up to the Veilguard. Solas, a Loki-esque trickster member of the elven pantheon of gods, known as the Dreadwolf, created the Veil long ago while attempting to free the elves from their slave-like status in Thedas. This Veil is a barrier between the magical Fade and Thedas, banishing elven gods and removing elven immortality from the world. But players didn't know that in Inquisition, where he was introduced as a mage ally and companion. However, at the end of Inquisition's Trespasser DLC, which sets the stage for Veilguard, we learn in a shocking twist that Solas wants to destroy the Veil and restore elves to their former glory. However, doing so would bring chaos to Thedas, and those who call it home to the people who eventually become the Veilguard want to stop him. Thank you to Castadus for becoming a Swallowbird, I really appreciate it. If you go onto the members, the community section, you'll be able to join our Discord server. Thank you. Where was I? I need to follow along with my mouse so you can all see where I am as well. There's an analogy I like to use, which is, if you want to carve an elephant out of marble, you just take a piece of marble and remove everything that doesn't look like an elephant, Veilguard creative director John Epler says. As we were building this game, it became really clear that it was less than we were trying to make the Veilguard, and more like the Veilguard was taking shape, and we built the game. Solas is still a central figure in it. He's still a significant character, but really, the focus shifts on the team. We realised Dreadwolf suggests a title focused on a specific individual, whereas the Veilguard, much like Inquisition, focuses more on the team. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Frankie, that is a really inappropriate comment. I'm removing that. None of that negativity on this channel. Please be gone. So, creating your... based on that, obviously, Solas is still at the centre of the story. However, name change represents the team more. Really cool. Let's get into creating our Rook. So Veilguard's character creator is staggeringly rich with a dizzying number of customizable options. Bush tells me that inclusivity is at the heart of it, noting that she believes everyone can create someone who represents them on screen. Fantastic. There are 4 races to choose from when customizing Rook. The new playable lead, elves, Qunari, humans, and dwarves, and hundreds of options to customize your character beyond that. You can select pronouns separately from gender and adjust physical characteristics like height, shoulder width, chest size, glut, and bulge size, hip width, how bloodshot your eyes are, how crooked your nose is, and so much more. There must be hundreds of sliders to customize these bloody proportions and feature. Sorry, it sounded like I said these bloody proportions. These body proportions and features like skin hues, tone, melanin. I never can say that right. Melanin, and just about anything else. You might adjust on a character. Oh, and there's nudity in Veilguard too, which I learned firsthand when customizing my Rook. Is it going to be like Cyberpunk where you just like, oh, okay, right, great. Probably. The technology has finally caught up to our ambition. Dragon Age series art director Matt Rhodes tells me as we decide on my warrior class Qunari's backstory, which affects faction allegiance, in-game dialogue, and reputation standing. We chose the pirate-themed Lords of Fortune. Notably, instead of the warrior class, we could have chosen mage or rogue. All 3 classes have unique specializations, bespoke skill trees, and special armors too. Ooh, special armors. Factions have special armors. Yes. Sorry, classes have special armors. But that kind of sounds like factions have special armors too. And I think I've heard that factions have special armors too. So, very cool. And though our Rook is aligned with the Lords of Fortune, there are others to choose from, including the Grey Wardens, the Shadow Dragons, the Mournwatch, and more. There is some flexibility in playstyle thanks to specializations, but your class largely determines the kind of actions you can perform in combat. Quote, Rook ascends because of... Oh, sorry, I want to read this properly. Rook ascends because of competence, not because of a magical MacGuffin. Good. BioWare core lead and Mass Effect executive producer Michael Gamble, tells me in contrast to Inquisition's Destiny has chosen your characterization. Good. Sorry, Destiny has chosen you characterization. I like that. Rook is here because they chose to be. And that speaks to the kind of character that we've built. Yay. Bush adds, someone needs to stop this. And Rook says, I guess that's me. Cool. Finally, like a willing hero. Again, I like the... I don't want to jump into my thoughts now, but I like the dynamic of Inquisition where, like, we're destined, we have that cute, that we're like a very heraldic figure, but also like this character actually wants to be a part of this journey. It's not thrusted upon them. I can't zoom in, unfortunately. I have really tried. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to deal with the really slow size. I really apologise. Rook, so beyond the on-paper greatness of this character creator, its customizability speaks to something repeated throughout my BioWare visit. Veilguard is a single-player, story-driven RPG. Or in other words, the type of game that made BioWare as storied as it is. McKay tells me the team explored a multiplayer concept early in development before scratching it to get back to BioWare basics. Good. The final game will feature 0 multiplayer and no microtransactions. People are saying the plot... Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, Bella. Somebody did say it before. I'm silly. Right, well, we're only on page 1. We've still got 12 to go. This is page 2, but thank you. I really apologise for that, folks. But anyway, we know now. Thank you. Happy to hear that. I pick our first and last name, then one of the 4 voices with a pitch shifter for each 2, and we're off to Minrathous. Brilliant. So for just this page, this 2-page spreader, Nothing new here besides what we already know. Of course, it's still great to hear that. There's a few things here about the armor classes. There's a few things about like the team's knowledge, the Dreadwolf Veilguard stuff we talked about already recently. Still, it's a good opener on what to expect. Everybody's laughing at me. I know. Anyway, next page. We're going to get to some proper real... Well, the new stuff, I imagine, is coming in the next spread. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We got a new image there. Right, now we can zoom in. Well, the thing is, we didn't even need to zoom in before because it was all stuff anyway. So, beautiful shot of Minrathous with Nev, Scout Harding, and Varric. So... Exploring to... Can we go even further? How fast can we zoom in? Oh, we can zoom. Oh! We won't zoom in too far, but we'll at least give it a decent zoom. Come on, let's move. Okay, that's too zoomed in. There we go. Exploring Tevinter for this first time. This is going to help me read it way better as well. So yeah, also the pitch shifter sounds cool. If you want to change your pitch of your voice, you can make it higher, lower. Sometimes they can be a bit of a novelty in video games I've seen. We'll see how it works for... the Veilguard. Hello, Lynette. Thank you for joining. We're looking at the Game Informer new article that has just dropped from Game Informer that covers... well, we're still at the bare bones of it now, but it covers loads of brand new details. So, exploring Tevinter for the first time. Throughout the Dragon Age series, parts of Thedas are discussed by characters and referenced by lore material, but left to the imagination of players as they can't visit them. Veilguard immediately eschews this, setting its opening prologue mission in Minrathous, the capital of the Tevinter Imperium. Frankly, I'm blown away by how good it looks. It's my first time seeing Veilguard in action, and my first look at a Dragon Age game in nearly a decade. Damn. Time has treated the series well, and so has technology. Epler, who's coming up on 17 years at BioWare, acknowledges that the franchise has always been at the will of its engine, which has been Frostbite or whatever it was before, the Eclipse engine. Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2's Eclipse engine worked well for the time, but today they show their age. Inquisition was BioWare's first go at EA's proprietary Frostbite engine. Mind you, an engine designed for first-person shooters and decidedly not multi-character RPGs, and the team struggled there too. Epler and Bush... Boop, 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 boop. Epler and Bush agree Veilguard is the first RPG where BioWare feels fully in command of Frostbite and more generally its vision for the world, which is actually really, really good to hear because, like, we've all heard the tumultuous stories of Frostbite Engine, and the fact that they feel really comfortable right now in it is really good. We've got an idea in Morrison and Joplin when they were creating Joplin originally that they were comfortable with it, but to hear now that they actually genuinely do feel comfortable with it is great because it's been, you know, Inquisition, which I think was great anyway, but it was rocky in terms of a Frostbite game. Andromeda, mixed opinions on that myself. Anthem, generally rocky reception. Now the Veilguard, it seems like they are confident in their approach this time going on. So that is great to hear. We begin inside a bar. Rook and Varric are looking for Nev Gallus, a detective mage, somewhere in Minrathous. The first thing players will do once the Veilguard begins is select a dialogue option, something the team says speaks to their vision of a story-forward, choice-driven adventure. I apologise if my video is stuttering, my laptop is crashing a little bit, but hey-ho, it's fine. So, after a quick bar brawl cutscene that demonstrates Rook's capabilities, there's another dialogue choice and different symbols here that indicate the type of tone you can roll with. There's a friendly, snarky, and rough and tough direct choice. And I later learn of a more romantically inclined, emotional response. Thank you, Lucas. Appreciate it. These are the replies that will build relationships with characters, romantic and platonic alike. But you're welcome to ignore this option. I want to know more about this. However, your companions can romance each other, so giving someone the cold shoulder might nudge them into the warm embrace of another. We learn Nev is in Dumat Plaza and head into the heart of Minrathous. Rhodes, the art director, explains BioWare's philosophy for designing this city harkens back. For designing the city, harkens back to a quick dialogue from Inquisition's Dorian Pavis. Upon entering Halam Shiral's Winter Palace, the largest venue in Dragon Age history at that point, Dorian notes that it's cute, adorable, even alluding to his Tevinter heritage. If Dorian thinks the largest venue in Dragon Age history is cute and adorable, what must the place he's from be like? It's like this. Rhodes says as we enter Minrathous proper in-game. Minrathous is huge, painted in magical insignia that looks like cyberpunk-inspired neon city signs and brimming with detail. Knowing it's a city run by mages and built entirely upon magic, Dorian! Chat go crazy for Dorian. Rhodes says the team led its imagination run wild. The result is the most stunning and unique city in the series. Down a wide, winding pathway, there's a pub with a dozen NPCs. Bush says BioWare used Veilguard's character creator to make each in-world NPC, except for specific characters, like recruitable companions, and a smart use of verticality, scaling, and wayfinding to push us towards the main attraction, Solas, attempting to tear down the veil. Take a sip of tea. Dorian! All hell is breaking loose. Pride demons are rampaging through the city. Considering Pride demons were bosses in prior games, seeing them roaming freely in the prologue of Veilguard speaks to the stakes of this opener. Absolutely. Something I appreciate throughout our short journey through Minrathous to its centre below is the cinematography at play. As a Qunari, I want to see. As a Qunari, my character stands tall, and Rhodes says the camera adjusts to ensure large characters loom over those below. On the flip side, the camera adjusts for dwarves to demonstrate their smaller stature compared to those around them. Any mention of Solas, my heart just jolts. I agree, DeCaster. I agree. This coupled with movie-like movements through the city as BioWare showcases the chaos happening at the hands of Solas's veil break ritual, creates a cinematic start that excites me, and I'm not even hands-on with the game. Eventually, we reach Nev, who has angered some murderous blood mages, and rescue her from danger. Or rather, help barely. Nev is quite capable, and her well-acted dialogue highlights that. Together, Varric, returning character, Lace Harding, who is helping us stop Solas, and is now a companion. Rook and Nev defeat some demons. They then take on some Venatori cultists, seizing this chaotic opportunity to take over the city and other enemies before making it to Solas's hideout. As we traverse deeper and deeper into this hideout, are we going to get more context on it? Let's find out. More of Solas's murals appear on the walls, and things get more elven. Rhodes says this is because you're symbolically going back in time, as Minrathous is a city built by mages on the bones of what was originally the home of elves. At the heart of his hideout, we discover Solas's personal alluvion. This magical mirror-like structure allows the gang to teleport and mechanically fast travel to the Arlathan Forest, where Solas is secretly performing the ritual while its effects pour out into Minrathous. Oh shit, I just saw who the old gods were. Oh shit. Here we encounter a dozen or so demons, which BioWare has fully redesigned on the original premise of these monstrous creatures. Rhodes says they're creatures of feeling and live and die off the emotions around them. As such, they are just a floating nervous system pushed into this world from the Fade, rapidly assembled into bodies out of whatever scraps they find. I won't spoil the sequence of events here, but we stop Solas's ritual and seemingly save the world. For now, Rook passes... okay. Who is it? Let me read this again, sorry. I won't spoil the sequence of events here, but we stop Solas's ritual and seemingly save the world. For now, Rook passes out moments later and wakes up in a dreamlike landscape to the voice of none other than Solas. He explains a few drops of Rook's blood interacted with the ritual, connecting them to the Fade forever. He also says he was attempting to move the Elganan and Gillenan, parts of the Evanurus or elven gods of ancient times, to a new prison because the one he had previously constructed was failing. Unfortunately, Solas is trapped in the Fade by our doing, and these gods are now free. It's up to Rook to stop them, thus the stage for our adventure is set. What? Chill out, Jack, breathe. Danny, I can't. I'm going to read it again. I'll read it calmer. I won't spoil the sequence of events here, but we stop Solas's ritual and seemingly save the world. For now, Rook passes out moments later and wakes up in a dreamlike landscape to the voice of none other than Solas. He explains a few drops of Rook's blood interacted with the ritual, connecting them to the Fade forever. He also says he was attempting to move the Elganan and Gillenan, parts of the Evanurus or elven gods of ancient times, to a new prison because the one he had previously constructed was failing. Unfortunately, Solas is trapped in the Fade by our doing, and these gods are now free. It's up to Rook to stop them, thus the stage for our adventure is set. Now, pause. So, at the same time of destroying the Veil, he was then trying to move them into a different prison. The fact that it's just those two as well just overtly confirms that Elganan and Gillenan are also the other elven gods, the Tevinter old gods. Because if there's only two of them in a prison, and we know the fact that they cast the dust literally, and we know the fact that the old gods were also sleeping, not really in a prison, but they're sleeping. Already in a prison, they're kind of dormant. I mean, come on. They need to connect the dots at some point. There's two elven gods remaining. Where are the other ones? I had a theory that Solas was killing them, but no, apparently he was moving them to another prison, and it was just two of them, which is interesting. Again, we're just speculating at this point, of course. But, yeah, where are the other ones? Most likely they've been killed by the Blights. But then again, Solas doesn't like the Blights. He doesn't like the idea of the Blights. So, what's going on there? There's still kind of some misconnection, but even so, the connection here, well, what we do know is the fact that Solas was destroying the Veil, and at the same time, which is reckless, then moving Gillenan and Elganan to another prison. The fact that it's Elganan and Gillenan is crazy. Really, really massive hype, proud moment from all of us there who have speculated for so long about the identity. It became clear with Gillenan because of Tevinter Knights and just the sheer symbolism of Gillenan as this monstrous entity, the Blight. There was loads of things we could make. The kind of the weird horned approach, and the fact that this creature was horned, monstrous. Gillenan is the creator of monsters. We kind of got that inference. Elganan, though, we speculated that because of just the pivot, that the kind of aspect of them being pivotal to the plot of being Mafal's husband, and a few other tinfoil bits, but it was kind of open to be anybody. But no, it's Elganan. Okay. Right, yeah, also somebody mentioned the dreamlike landscape. Doesn't overtly say it's the Fade. Is it some kind of realm of the Dread Wolf? Very interesting. We will continue on. Oh, what about Varric? Good point. Good point. What about Varric? Well, let's read on. Let's read on, because we've got the Lighthouse right here, which is our next hub. So, Mark Darris said, when it comes to Dragon Age fan theories, I usually write. Yeah, it's true. It's because we're pretty, as a community, we're pretty good, I would say. Okay. Oh, Carla. Okay, right. Let's read on. Sorry, chat. The Lighthouse. After their encounter with Solas, Rook wakes up with Harding and Nev. Okay. But what about... I'm going to try and read this nonchalant for you all, but know that I'm screaming inside. After their encounter with Solas, Rook wakes up with Harding and Nev in the lair of the Dread Wolf himself, a special magical realm in the Fade called the Lighthouse. It's a towering... I can't do this. It's a towering structure centered amongst various floating islands. Epler says, much like Skyhold in Inquisition, the Lighthouse is where your team bonds, grows, and prepares for its adventure. F's in the chat. Why are people putting F's in the chat? I don't want to read. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. No, no F's in the chat. Please scream. It also becomes more functional and homier as you do. Already, though, it's a beautifully distraught headquarters for the Veilguard. Although they aren't quite referring to themselves as that just yet. So obviously that's the start of the game. OMFG. So like immediately, I think that's the ending of this bit. Yeah, let's just talk for a second. Jack is losing it. I can't do the nonchalant thing. I really can't. I'm trying. What we'll do is I'll scream and then we'll read it again. So straight off the bat, where the hell's Varric? Where's Varric? Where's Varric? What do you mean? What do you mean, Harding and Nev? What about Varric? What about Varric? I'm sure there might be more of that soon. There's another page. But what about Varric? What about Varric? Where's Varric? And also we've got this shot here as well. That's Balara and... Is that... That's Tash. Ravane, for sure. Definitely look at the dragon body remains. It's Ravane for schnizzle. It's beautiful. Catch your breath, Jack. I'm trying. But, you know, I'm excited. I will sip tea and let chat go off. We're all screaming. Exactly. We're all screaming in unison. So, as Queen Tiamat says, we're hanging out with Solas in his flat. Cool. How cool? How cool? What are the F's in the... Oh, are the F's in the chat for Varric? Oh, no. No. Gareth Green, thank you for the super chat. So it was Elganan and Gillinan. Also, the Lighthouse sounds like a stronghold in the throne of Baal. Literally. Literally. It sounds like we get to hang out with Solas. In some capacity. We're hanging out in his own realm. Sick. Sick. Is there any other screenshots or in-game shots of this that we haven't seen before? No. Okay. Okay, next page. I'm going to catch my breath. Have a sip of tea. F's in the chat. Yeah, Varric's dead. Same. R.I.P. you rude slugs. Shane. Oh. Right. Okay. Next slide. Okay. New image here. No new image here. Right. Back to the lighthouse. Okay. Because it was Solas's home base of operations, it's gaudy, with its fresco murals adorning various walls, greenery hanging from above, and hues of purple and touches of gold in it, everywhere. Since it's in the Fade, a realm of dreams that responds to your world state and emotion, the lighthouse reflects the chaos and disrepair of the Thadis you were in moments ago. Where are we? I see a clock symbol over a dialogue icon in the distance, which signals an optional dialogue option. We head there, talk to Nev, select a response to try our hand at flirting. Yay! And then head to the dining hall. Fantastic. Oh, thank you, Ivan, for the super chat. I am about to make scrambled eggs with Solas. What if it wasn't Solas, though? What if it was the Elven Gods? A plate, a fork, and a knife, sounds like the butt of a new joke, and a drinking chalice are at the end of a massive table. Rhodes says, this is both a funny and sad look at Solas's isolated existence, oh no, and an example of the detail BioWare's art team has put into Veilguard. It's a case of letting you see the story. It's like when you go to a friend's house and you see their bedroom for the first time. You get to learn more about them. From the dining hall, we gather the not quite Veilguard in the library, where Bush says it is the central area of the lighthouse, and where your party will often regroup and prepare for what's next. The team decides it must reach the ritual site back in Arlathan, and Bush says, I'm missing unique dialogue options here because I'm Qunari. An elf would have more to say about the Fade due to their connection to it. Yes! We're not being elf-splained this time. The same goes for my backstory earlier in Minrathous. If I had picked the Shadow Dragon background, Nev would have recognised me immediately with unique dialogue. So last sleepover, yippee! Damn, you live like this, Hazelheart. With our next move decided, wait, what is the next move? We head to Solas's Alluvian to return to Arlathan. Okay, that's the next move. And the ritual site. However, it's not fully functional without Solas, which kind of indicates we need him at the end, right? And while it returns us to Arlathan Forest, it's not exactly where we want to go. Let me just wipe my nose, sorry. A few moments later, we're back in the Arlathan Forest, and just before a demon-infested suit of mechanized armor known as a sentinel can attack, two new NPCs appear to save us, Strife and Ireland. I was literally just talking about them in my factions video like 2 days ago. Harding recognizes them from Dragon Age The Missing Comics, or something Dragon Age comic readers might know about. They're experts in ancient... Sorry, I've moved it and it's not moving. They're experts in ancient elven magic and part of the new Veil Jumpers faction. The ensuing cutscene, where we learn Strife and Ireland need help finding someone named Balara Latara, is long with multiple dialogue options. That's something I'm noticing with Veilguard too. There's heavy emphasis on storytelling and dialogue, and it feels deep and meaty, like a good fantasy novel. BioWare doesn't shy away from minutes-long cutscenes. Good! That's what we want! Yes! Bush says that's intentional too. For Rook, this story's about what does it mean to be a leader, she says. You're defining their leadership style with your choices, knowing that Rook is the leader of the Veilguard. I'm excited to see how far this goes. From the sounds of it, my team will react to my chosen leadership style in how my relationship plays out. That's demonstrated within the game's dialogue and a special relationship meter on each companion's character screen. Okay. So, if we back out for a second, we have a shot here. Oh my goodness, what even is this? That's Solas with his blade. And that looks like concept art confronting the ritual site. And what the hell is this? Is that the Elven Gods emerging? I don't know. Let's read on. Where's Inky? I assume Inky's going to come in towards the end. Thank you, Eula, and for the for joining the Swallowbirds. Appreciate it. Okay, now we're getting into combat. Redefining combat once more. Balara is deep within Arlathan Forest, and following the prologue's events, something is up here. Three rings of massive rocks fly through the air, protecting what appears to be a central fortress. Demon sentinels plague the surrounding lands, and after loading up a new save, we're in control of a human mage. Okay, alright, swapping saves, cool. I agree, Miss Hearts, where is Varric? It's not looking good. Following the trend of prior Dragon Age games, Veilguard has completed the series' shift from tactical strategy to real-time action. But fret not, a tactical base and pause and play mechanics return. A tactical pause and play mechanic returns to satisfy fans who remember the series' origins, pun intended, though I got a taste of combat in the prologue. Veilguard's drastic department from all that came before it is even more apparent here. Let me just take a sip of tea. It's time, Riz, our way. I agree. Bush says players complete every swing in real time, with special care taken to animation swing through and cancelling. There's a dash, a parry, the ability to charge moves, and a completely revamped healing system that allows you to use potions at your discretion by hitting right on the D-pad. Cool. You can combo attacks and even bookmark combos with a quick dash, which means you can pause a combo status with a dash to satisfy and continue the rest of the combo afterward. It looks even cooler than it sounds. Brilliant. Like any good action game, there is a handful of abilities to customize your kit. Bolara's last name is interesting. To return, come home. Aww. And if you want to maintain that real-time action feel, you can use them on the fly, so long as you take cooldowns into effect. But Veilguard's pause and play gameplay mechanic, similar to Inquisition's without the floating camera view, lets you bring things to a halt for a hefty but operational dose of strategy. In this screen, which essentially pauses the camera and pulls up a flashy combat wheel that highlights you and your companion's skills, you can choose abilities, queue them up, and strategize with synergies and combos, all while targeting specific enemies. Do what you need to here. Let go of the combat wheel and watch your selection play out. Bush says she used the combat wheel to dole out her companion's attacks and abilities while sticking to the real-time action for her player-controlled rook. Sounds like basically Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3. On the other hand, Epler says he almost exclusively uses the combat wheel to dish out every ability and combo. So again, showing you an example of how it can be used for both kinds of players. I think I'm more real-time, really, unless I'm playing on a harder difficulty, but I love the option to pause and think. I like that in Mass Effect, and I like that Dragon Age is going down that direction. It allows accessibility for people who like tactics, and it allows for people who want that action-oriented gameplay to have that too. So it's a good mix, and I appreciate the direction. Enchantment. Ooh, people are saying new voice actor for Sandal. Ooh. Yes, Daxum, I will be making a video on this. I'll be cutting to the fat though, because a lot of this is saying what we already know with the new details. Thank you so much for doing this. You are so welcome, Virginia. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. I have almost 1,500 of you. And again, I apologise for the stuttering webcam. My laptop is having its days with the amount of content I'm doing. I need to fix the issue, but for now, I'm not bothered. I apologise, but I can't fix anything right now. Bush says, every character will play the same, in that you execute light and heavy attacks with the same buttons, use abilities with the same buttons, and interact with the combo wheel in the same way, regardless of which class you select. That reminds me of Dragon's Dogma 2. You have the same buttons for whichever class you are, it just differs whatever you're doing, but it's always the same button, so I appreciate that. But a sword and shield warrior, like we used in the prologue, can hip fire or aim their shield to throw it like Captain America, whereas our human mage uses the same button to throw out magical ranged attacks. The warrior can parry incoming attacks. Next page. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. We have this section to read here as well. Pause on that. We'll come back to you in a second. Read pressing start. The fact that we can throw our shield is so cool. But I want to know what the mage's melee approach is. Like, we've got the rogue has a bow. The warrior has a shield. Obviously, mage is already ranged. So what can I do up close? Pressing start. The start or pause screen is as important to good RPG as the game outside the menus. Veilguard's contains your map, journal, character sheets, skill tree, and a library for lore information. You can cross-compare equipment and equip new gear here for Rook and your companions, build weapon loadouts, hell yeah, for quick change-ups mid-combat, and customize you and your party's abilities and build up via an easy-to-understand skill tree. You won't find minutiae here, just real numbers. That means a new unlocked trait might increase damage by 25% against armor, but that's as in-depth as the numbers get. Passive abilities unlock jump attacks and guarantee critical hit opportunities, while abilities add moves like Wall of Fire to your arsenal, of course, if you're a mage. As you spec out the skill tree, which is 100% bespoke to each class, you'll work closer to unlocking a specialization, of which there are 3 for each class, complete with a unique ultimate ability. Bush says, BioWare's philosophy here is about changing the way you play, not statistical minutiae, and I really appreciate that. What it confirms is that you don't need to go to the Hissing Wastes and find 5 books and kill 3 pride demons and kill 25 dogs, bad example, poor dogs, Venatori mages to unlock your Rift Mage or Necromancer. You unlock it by speccing into your particular skill tree, of which there are 3. One of them is ability based, one of them I believe is weapon based, and one of them is ranged based, something like that. So we'll look at them later, but I really appreciate that you're not having to go do fetch quests. You're getting them by playing the game, leveling up and speccing into it, and you get an ultimate ability for each. Sick! Love it. So, moving on to the next page. The warrior can parry incoming attacks, ... Ah, Balara! Balara! Ah! The Arlathan Forest, what the shit is going on there? That's got to be the ritual site, right? Maybe not. Shit. The warrior can parry incoming attacks, which can stagger enemies. Okay, brilliant. Look at that shot. She looks beautiful. Oh, look at that shot. Look at her earrings. Ah! Oh. Yeah, poor scratch, right? Lisa, no. Oh. Lisa, no. Jack, what you got against dogs? I got nothing against dogs. I love dogs. I'm a dog person. I'm a Ferelden dog lord, I swear. I'm literally, like, my Inquisitor is such a cliche Ferelden dog lord. I love dogs. I just made an evil playthrough in Baldur's Gate 3 that didn't like dogs. Okay, so the warrior uses their shield to stagger enemies. The rogue gets a larger parry wheel. Here we go. Our mage, however, can't parry at all. Instead, they throw up a shield that blocks incoming attacks automatically, so long as you have the mana to sustain it. That's so cool. I love that. Bill, stop it. Stop it. Chat, no. Move on, chat. I love dogs. Mark Darragh, in this article, what I see from Veilguard is a game that finally bridges the gap. Former EP Mark Darragh said, who left BioWare in 2021 before joining the Veilguard team last year as a consultant. Uncharitably, previous Dragon Age games got to the realm of combat wasn't too bad. I agree to that. In this game, the combat's actually fun, but it does keep that thread that's actually always been there. You have the focus on Rook, on your character, but still have that control and character coming into the combat experience from other people in the party. Hold up, I do agree with that notion. Like, be real, combat's always been fine in Dragon Age. I would say it was probably its strongest in 2. I like the fast action approach. And Inquisition, it got around. Lucas Fusselcorn recently made a video, and I really agree with him, said that like it just felt unfinished in Inquisition, and I do get that sentiment. Again though, I think for us Dragon Age players, we look past it because the story, the characters, the dialogue, all the other aspects of gameplay make it. We're not that bothered about combat, but it is good to hear that from a more casual, mainstream point of view, from an actual game, combat is actually fun this time around, which is really good. Okay. This is really the best Dragon Age game that I've ever played, noting his bias. This is the only one where we get back to our roots of character-driven storytelling, having really fun combat, and aren't making compromises. Great to see it. I have so many thoughts on that. We'll come to us at the end. Watching Bush take down Sentinels and Legions of Darkspawn on screen, I can already sense Veilguard's combat will likely end up my favourite in the series, although admittedly, as a fan of action games, I'm an easy sell here. It's flashy, quick, and thanks to different types of health bars, like a greenish blue one that represents barrier and is taken down most effectively with ranged attacks, a decent amount of strategy, even if you don't use the pause and play combo wheel. So, maybe taking apart, I assume guard, I mean he says different levels here, we're assuming here. Obviously you had barrier, you had guard, and then you had your health in Inquisition. We've got barrier coming back. Guard probably will come back, we'll find out. Like the rest of the game too, it's gorgeous with sprinkles, droplets and splashes of magic in each attack. Our mage unleashes. Though I'm seeing the game runs on a powerful PC, which is sure to be the best showcase of Veilguard. Epler tells me the game looks amazing on consoles. He's been playing it on PS5 and enjoying it in both its fidelity and performance modes, but I'll have to take his word for it. They have so far stated that it's going to be 60 FPS on consoles. We're going to find out when it comes out for those intricate details. I'm not bothered as long as it's playable. Again, I play Dragon. I mean, it's gonna. I want it to look as beautiful as possible, but I have a decent setup anyway. So it's good to hear though that they have performance and fidelity modes for those who don't care about graphics, don't care about the ultra 60 FPS 4K screens. I'm not bothered about that. I just want to play the game. Jack, will you make a video on this news? Yes, I will. Luna Freya, I will. I will be taking away the highlights of this. Absolutely. It'll take longer, but I will be doing that. Expect it later this week. Also, has BioWare tweeted? Did I even look on my phone? BioWare have reposted. They haven't tweeted anything yet. Sorry, one of the devs just liked my tweets. I'm just like, oh. BioWare haven't tweeted yet. Okay. I'm just wondering if they're going to tweet a new summer calendar. Okay, right, back into it. Sorry. In Entropy's Grasp, which I assume was spell. Oh no, it's a... Oh, okay. As we progress through the forest and the current In Entropy's Grasp mission, we finally find Bellara. She's a Veil Jumper, the first companion you meet and recruit in the game, unlike Nev, who automatically joins. I gotcha. And the centerpiece of this issue's cover image, because our mage's background is Veil Jumper, we get some unique dialogue. Bellara explains we're all trapped in a veil bubble, and there's no way out once you pass through it. Despite the dire situation, Bellara is bubbly, witty, and charming. When designing companions, they're the load-bearing pillars for everything, Rhodes says. They're the face of the faction. And in this case, with Bellara, their entire area of this world, she's your window into the Arlathan Forest. Rhodes describes her as a sweetheart and nerd for ancient elven artifacts. Oh, she sounds adorable already. As such, she's dressed more like an academic than a combat expert, although her special arm gauntlet is useful both for tinkering with her environment and taking down enemies. Unlike Nev, who uses ice magic like our Rook and can slow down time with a special ability, Bellara specializes in electricity, and she can use magic to heal you, something Bush says is Dragon Age fans have been desperate to have in a game. Okay, sorry. Electricity magic is something that Dragon Age fans have wanted in a Dragon Age game. I'm so used to saying Dragon Age, and that tinfoil hat no longer phases me. I love it. I feel like if I take my 1 second, once my webcam starts glitching out. I feel like if I take my tinfoil hat, people don't know who I am. You know, like when Superman takes his glasses off, like, who is he? It's like, who am I? You wouldn't know who I am. But then, there he is. But Who is he? Oh, that's Jack. Or Jack, no. Okay, sorry. Bush says, if you don't direct Nev and Balara, they're fully independent and will attack on their own. But synergizing your team will add to the fun and strategy of combat. Balara's electric magic is effective against sentinels, which is great because we currently only have access to ice. However, without Balara, we could also equip a rune that converts my ice magic for a brief duration into electricity to counter the sentinels. That's really cool. As we progress through Arlathan Forest, we encounter more and more Darkspawn. Ooh. Balara mentions the Darkspawn have never been this far before because the underground deep roads, where they usually escape from, aren't nearby. However, with blighted elven gods roaming the world and Fikestella Blight's radiation-like spread, it's a much bigger threat in Veilguard than in any Dragon Age before it. Are we getting a double blight? Like, the fact that 2 elven gods are blighted, we relate them to the old gods because, come on, the game needs to wrap up. They said that Minrathous is based on the foundations of the Elven Empire, hinting that fundamental law of Tevinter belongs to the elves. The Elganan and Gillinan are being moved from their prison. The old gods lie sleeping in their own prisons. Are we getting a double blight? I think we're getting a double blight. We're getting a double blight. The fact that no Darkspawn have been this far before. Double blight. Double blight, double blight, double blight. Yeah, come on. We're getting a double blight. It's got to be the case. Really? Come on. Surely? They're blighting this world. Their ultimate goal, all we know is they're blighting this world. Two old gods, untainted. That's the true threat of this game, I think. Which is what we've been saying for a while. It's happening. Yeah, I think that's got to be the case. I think. I'm going to finish my tea now because it's gone really cold. Bring back Ogren. James, I agree. Megan, hello. So, why do gods have to be evil in this game? We don't know. All we know is that Elganan, who we can absolutely say it's Elganan, is he wants to bring his peace and comfort of his reign. I mean, he is literally the all-father of the elven pantheon. He, in his belief, at least in the lore of Elvenan, or elven gods, he created, the pantheon, set up so many things. He created the sun, which we refer to like titans or dragons. He, in elven lore, is the creator of their world. He is the king, the elven, he's probably like, this is my world. I'm coming back. And Gillinan, we assume, is the only other elven god remaining besides Solas and Mafal. She's not a child of Elganan and Mafal. Andruel is, but she was Andruel's lover, so maybe it's like, maybe he's like looking after her as well. We don't know. We're gonna find out. But he's coming back. Like, he's literally the king. So he's like, yeah, this world's mine. Screw Solas. Screw all that. I'm reclaiming my godhood. I'm reclaiming my reign of this world. All we know, though, confirmingly, is he wants his peace and comfort of his reign. And I did make a video called Solas not the real threat, or not the only threat in the Veilguard. Meet the evil elven gods, and I made that last December. It literally, that video is spot on at speculating at this theory. It's spot on. Besides the fact that Solas is in the Fade, not the Black City, but he's probably in the Fade. Like, the Black City's in the Fade, so come on. Like, besides that little nuance, it's spot on. So check that video out for the lore on Elganan and Gillinan, but I'll be refreshing that in my next video anyway. So, let's continue. Sorry, I'm so into this. We're going to dissect all of this again once I have read it. We're still reading it. We've been going for an hour and we haven't even finished it. I love this. It's great. I continue to soak in the visuals of Veilguard with Arlathan's forests, elven ruins, dense greenery, and disgusting blight tentacles and pusticles. It's perhaps the most impressive aspect of my time seeing the game, although everything else is making a strong impression too. I am frustrated about having to watch the game rather than play it. To be honest, I'm in love with the art style, which is More high fantasy than anything in the series thus far, and almost reminiscent of the whimsy of Fable, a welcome reprieve from the recent gritty Game of Thrones trend in fantasy games. I like that. I like that twist. I don't just want to play The Witcher where I'm depressed in the first 30 hours of the game, which is fantastic. Love it. But I do feel depressed in that slog world. I like that we're getting dark fantasy mixed with the high fantasy elements. Love that. Rhodes says that the result of the game's newfound dose of magic. The use of magic has been an evolution as the series has gone on. It's something we've been planning for a while because Solas has been planning all this for a while. In the past, you could hint at a cooler, magical thing in the corner because you couldn't actually go there. But now we actually can, and it's fun to showcase that. Bush, Epler, and Rhodes warn me that Arlathan Forest's whimsy will... The Arlathan Forest's whimsy will starkly contrast to other areas. They promise some grim locations and even grimmer story moments, because without that contrast, everything falls flat. Bush likens it to a thread of optimism pulled through otherworldly chaos, ravaging Thedas. For now, the spunky and effervescent Balara is that thread. See, while they're saying it's like really, like, this is a high fantasy area, like, it's brilliant, but also, like, the blight is also, like, all around. So while, like, you know, you're getting that lush environment, it's beautiful, Balara represents that spunky, brilliant nature of charisma, you've got the blight. You got, like, the fact that the Darkspawn and their tentacle blighty things are happening all over the place. So I like that contrast too. And again, more grimmer locations. Dark fantasy is still an aspect of this just as much as high fantasy is. We're going to read the character customization. Because, yeah, actually that's the end of that bit. Yeah, we're going to read the character customization. And we'll look at it. I mean, this is the Veil bubble, I believe, that Balara is referring to. So... I can't say it. Sorry, Sarah Sandel. Who would use that word in a sentence, sir? Yeah, I agree. Where is Varric? Okay, companion customization. You can advance your bonds by helping companions on their own personal quests and by including them in your party for main quests. Every relationship level you rank up, shown on their character sheet. Every relationship level you rank up, shown on their character sheet, nets you a skill point to spend on them. Ooh. Bush says the choices you make, what you say to companions, how you help them, and more, all matter to their development as characters and party members. And with 7 companions, there's plenty to customize, from bespoke gear to abilities and more. Though each companion has access to 5 abilities, you can only take 3 into combat. So it's important to strategize different combos and synergies within your party. Rhodes says, beyond this kind of customizable characterization, each companion has issues, problems, and personal quests to complete. Balara has her own story arc that runs parallel and informs the story path you're on, Rhodes says. Fantastic. All in all, beautiful concept art over here. Looks fantastic. Balara, proper in-engine shot of her. Looks beautiful. Cannot wait to meet her. She sounds charismatic, spunky, energy, young, youthful. Representing the Veil Jumpers with new tattoos. It could be still Valisleen. We're getting new Valisleen this time around. It could be something brand new. I imagine it's Valisleen, but again, the Veil Jumpers have literally the Executors logos, what it looks like to me. Like, that just, like... All I can say is go watch my recent faction video on that front, but there's so many connections to the Veil Jumpers and the Executors, like what's going on. Triangles, Gillinan connections, oceanic sense, it's crazy. But yeah, she looks brilliant. I cannot wait to meet her. She is going to be a great first companion as well. Quite high energy. Okay, so who's ready for the next page? Okay, I think this is the final page. This is the final page, folks. Okay. Final page. Let's zoom in before we see spoilers because I'm already trying to look over there. So is this the ritual site from the start of the game? I think so. So that's going to be like the ending, right? Where like you're going to come back to it. We'll find out. So, or it could even just be the first mission. We'll find out. Okay, I'm trying not to look at the corner, but I'm already reading other stuff. As we progress deeper into the forest, Balara spots a floating fortress and thinks the artifact needed to destroy the Veil bubble is in there. To reach it though, we must remove the floating rock rings, and Balara's unique ability, Tinker, can do just that by interacting with a piece of ancient elven technology nearby. Bush says Rook can acquire abilities like Tinker later to complete such tasks in instances where Balara, for example, isn't in the party. Balara must activate 3 of these in Arlathan Forest to reach the floating castle, and each one we activate brings forth a slew of sentinels, demons, and darkspawn to defeat. Kind of sounds like the anchor. Obviously it's not, but you need an ability to destroy this certain thing. Removing them, you get a swarm of enemies, and then you can go forth and remove the next one. Bush does so with ease, showcasing high level gameplay by adding 3 stacks of arcane build-up to create an arcane bomb on an enemy, which does devastating damage after being hit by a heavy attack. Now she begins charging a heavy attack on her magical staff, then switches to magical daggers in a second loadout accessed with a quick tab of down on the D-pad to unleash some quick attacks, then back to the staff to charge it some more and unleash a heavy attack. That is literally an example of like the melee combat we get as a mage, and that sounds so fun. Is that exclusive to Balara? No, it's not. That's what Bush is doing. Bush does so with a high level of gameplay, but yeah, that's what Bush is. That's fantastic. Maybe that's the Veil Jumper specialization, or maybe that's just that. Well, yeah, this is the start of the game, so it sounds like anybody can do that. Well, any mage can do that. After a few more combat encounters, including one against a sentinel that's frenzied, which means it hits harder, moves faster, and has more health, we finally reach the center of the temple. Okay, here we go. Within it is a particular artifact known as the Nadas Dethalan, which Balara says means the inevitability of knowledge. Before we can advance with it, a Darkspawn Ogre boss attacks. It hits hard, has plenty of unblockable red-coded attacks, and a massive shield we must take down first. However, it's weak to fire, and our new fire staff is perfect for the situation. After taking down this boss in a cinematic arena fight, Balara uses a special crystal to power the artifact and remove it from a pedestal, destroying the Veiled Dragon. The Veiled Dragon? Sorry. Destroying the Veil Bubble. Then the Nadas Dethalan comes alive as an archive spirit. Ooh! But because the crystal used to power its break, we learn little about the spirit before it disappears. Fortunately, Balara thinks she can fix it. Fixing broken stuff is kind of her thing. Epla says, so the ground heads back to the Veil Jumper camp, and as interested as I am in learning what happens next, no, the demo ends. It's clear that even after a few hours with the game's opening, I've seen a negligible amount of game, frustrating but equally as exciting. Before we continue, let's read this part. Don't call it an open world. Veilguard is not an open world, even if some of its explorable areas might feel like one. Gamble describes Veilguard's Fadus as a hub and spoke design, where the needs of the story are served by level design. I love that. A version of Inquisition's Crossroads, a network of teleporting Illuvians, returns. Ooh, and it's how players will traverse across Northern Thedas. Ah, I love that. Instead of a connected open world, players will travel from Illuvian to different stretches of this part of the continent. Like, literally, this is something that we've speculated about, having an Illuvian system of travel. But now, instead of just being a war table, you go from Illuvian to Illuvian so you can go back into the map. That's so good. This allows Bioware to go from places like Minrathous to tropical beaches to Arlathan Forest to grim and gothic areas and elsewhere. Seharan, please. We know we're going to Kalsharok. They've literally said that in the Q&A Discord stuff, so that's so exciting! Some of the areas are larger and full of secrets and treasures. Others are smaller and more focused on linear storytelling. Arlathan Forest is an example of this, but there are still optional paths and offshoots to explore for loot, healing potion refreshers, and other things. There's a mini-map in each location though. Linear levels like in Entropy Grasp won't have the fog of war that disappears as you explore, like some of Veilguard's bigger locations. Regardless, Bioware says Veilguard has the largest number of diverse biomes in series' history, and that's because they're not doing it as open world massive hubs where you literally have so much to explore and it's like, right, this is your mission to go meet Hawk here, but like, go do all this content and fetch quests. And I did like that at the time as a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, 16-year-old, where I had I had all the time in the world. I didn't have a full-time job and I got to explore these open worlds. But now, but like, I didn't like the fetch quests, but now, and also now, having had that experience, I prefer the more linear with freedom approach. And what this gathers to me is like, you're going to have areas like the starting mission, for example, where it's a small section of Minrathous that's closed off. You have to do this particular narrative. But then like, you're probably going to have Ravane, which it sounds like that's more of an open world. Not fully open world, but like, they've said that that dragons reign there free. And the Lords of Fortune have lost their domain of the place. So it's like, that's kind of an open world hub where you get to go there and fight dragons and explore more of that alongside the narrative. And I really like that. That is the perfect approach. And it means that with all that effort now spent on smaller worlds, biomes, so to speak, you get more of them. Which, again, Bioware have said, we're going to more locations than ever before in a Dragon Age game. And like, if I look at my map, in Inquisition, we did go to loads of places. We went across Ferelden, the Dales, and Orlais, which is three continents, but also like, yes, you went to what I literally had in my head, the place where you get to change your mirror, but that's not really like, that's a small pocket. But like, we did get to, we got loads of maps in Inquisition, from like the hinterlands, dare I say that, but then 3 deserts, but the Crestwood, the Exalted Plains. DLC added more. Like, there was loads and loads of maps. So now that we're getting more of those, but also more condensed, is brilliant. Okay, right. We are closing up on this article with this part left. We see some Bellara. We see some Grand Acropolis. We've just read this. So, Wesley's frustrated because he wants to play it. Are we ready to read more? Black Emporium, thank you. Thank you. Right. Dragon's Delight. With a 10-hour day at BioWare behind me after hours of demo gameplay and interviews with the leads, I'm acutely aware of my favourite part of video games. The surprises! Ooh! I've dabbled with Origins and 2 and put nearly 50 hours into Inquisition. But any familiarity with the series the latter gave me had long since subsided over the past decade. I wanted to be excited about the next Dragon Age as I viewed each teaser and trailer, but other than seeing the words Dragon Age, I felt little. Fair. It is fair. It's a fair comment. Without gameplay, without a proper look at the actual game we'll all be playing this fall, I struggled to remember why Inquisition struggled to remember why Inquisition sucked me in 10 years ago. Thank you, Sarah, for the super chat. Will they take the creative risk and drop the fade? Well, who knows? Who knows? Now, this trip reminded me. Dragon Age, much like the Fadus of Veilguard, lives in the uncertainty, the turbulence of BioWare's recent release history, and the lessons learned from it. The drastic changes to each Dragon Age's combat, the mystery of its narrative, and the implications of its lore. It's all a part of the wider Dragon Age story and why this studio keeps returning to this world. It's been a fertile franchise for experimentation, While Veilguard is attempting to branch out into unique ways, it feels less like new soil and more like the harvest BioWare has been trying to cultivate since 2009. Alright, like, Origin fans, everybody having a go at the Veilguard and it's not like Origins. Wesley has just said there, this feels like the harvest that BioWare have been trying to cultivate since 2009. And I'm surprised by that. I'm additionally surprised, in retrospect, how numb I have been to the game before this. I'm surprised by BioWare's command over EA's notoriously difficult Frostbite engine, me too, to create its prettiest game yet. I'm surprised by the series' 15-year transition from tactical strategy to action-forward combat. I'm surprised by how much narrative thought the team has poured into these characters, even for BioWare. Oh wow. Perhaps having no expectations will do that to you. It's true. But most of all, with proper acknowledgement that I reserve additional judgment until I actually play the game. I'm surprised that Veilguard might just be the RPG I'm looking forward to most this year. Oh my goodness, what a statement to end on. Like, summarising what Wesley's just said there, basically Wesley wasn't hot or cold on the Dreadwolf, Veilguard marketing campaigns on the news we got on whatever BioWare were doing of that, and that's fair comment to make, because we were kind of flustered, or we've been like, okay, Soulless America coming back, what about the game? While others have obviously gone on the negative train, and I don't like the word negative. Holding BioWare to account, looking at the mistakes and the flaws of the company, like the layoffs, which is absolutely disgusting, and EA needs to be held accountable, especially when they are earning millions and millions and reportedly earning so much money, and they're sacking off Mary Kirby, the literal creator of the Cune. Hold them to account. However, regarding the development side, when it's the developers who are working there every single day, very, 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 very hard to achieve, or just working their 9 to 5, or should I say 9 to 5 to achieve or work on this project, that they are all working so diligently while not trying to get bloody laid off because EA are fat cats. Like, it's those developers that I think about, and they do not deserve the clickbaity negativity that YouTubers like to give into. And I'm just fully releasing the demons from myself right now because I'm just seeing a lot of positivity coming my way, because I'm not like that. Hello, Mr. Holton, how you doing? Oh, Holton, how you doing? Good to see you. Sorry, YouTubers in the chat, thank you. Also, Dav Sadie, how you doing? Sorry, Dav Shady. And like, I get it. I understand the negativity. I understand looking at a glass half empty. I understand that, because in my experience, I didn't like Anthem. I wasn't hot on Andromeda. However, wait until we see the game. Have faith in the collective vision, the developers working so hard every single day. Yes, it's understandable when veteran teams are leaving. Yes, we get disheartened. But some of them have left for good reason. Like, not to call a spade, but Matthew Goldman's departure seems like it was the right direction to go. Based on now having creative director, and again, I'm not just putting accountability on one person's role at BioWare, but now having John Epler step up from narrative designer or narrative director to creative director, which David Gator, who has said a lot of, fair criticisms on BioWare, having worked there for so long and having been shafted by EA to some degree, said that that's a brilliant development to have John Epler as a creative director. And so, looking at it accountably, calling out EA for all the shit that they do, because I will always call out EA for the shit they do, it's the developers that I fundamentally care about and think about when I'm making a video, when I'm looking at the news stories. It's the people who are affected the most. It's the ones going in every day and who are modelling the characters of Tash, who are animating the things that you're not even going to notice, who are making the spidery with hands things, who are doing all that who are working on the Solas's teeth. Those people are the ones that I'm thinking about when we make those videos, when we're talking about negative news, when we're talking about this stuff and the crunch and the layoffs and all that stuff. Those are the people that I'm supporting when I am sharing my positivity. And honestly, not to go so far ahead of myself, because obviously this is just gameplay, this is just an article. This all seems, and I'm making assumptions, that this game is going in the right direction, at least for what we want as a Dragon Age game. That's not being so full of hype that it's going to be the best thing ever, it's going to be the best RPG ever, it's going to be better than Baldur's Gate 3. No. but it sounds like it's going to be a pretty freaking good Dragon Age 4, which is what we all want, right? I'm having expectations that it's going to blow my socks off in certain ways, and it's already done that with the gameplay of having Solas's narrative being quintessentially at the bare bones of this narrative, seeing it straight away, kicking it off, and we're getting Solar Veil Enclosure and the Inquisitor. These are things that I want. These are things that I've been... That every Dragon Age fan who's played Trespasser DLC and has an inkling of the storyline, because, of course, Dragon Age, the developers aren't just putting it in there for us to go, well, I would love that in the next game. They're putting it in there for a reason, because they want us to think that, because they want to go down that direction. And so, for all those things, and having hub-based worlds that are more linear in their approach, having... a faster action-paced combat with still maintaining that accessible tactics gameplay, having, more of a focus, having no microtransactions and no multiplayer, which was a negative period, because it's like, shit, next Dragon Age game is going to be multiplayer. What are we going to do about that? Like, shit, like, that genuinely was like, crap. Okay, and what did we do? We just trusted in the collective vision of the team, and look at it now. Everybody, Lisa, hello! Sorry, I know Lisa, you've been in the chat. I know you've been in the chat before. Lucas, can I just say the story is visually beautiful, and I'm giving mad props to the designers. I know from my work how hard it is to print story visually appealing. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Summarizing my massive rant there. I apologize if people don't like rants, but my channel, I get to say what I want, my platform, and I get to shine a beacon and a light on one thing, and that for me is just trusting in the developers, who I'm mutuals of a lot of them on Twitter. They are so lovely people. Some of them have gone, some of them are still there. Regardless of the ones that have gone, they've put their essence, their life into this, their time, which is the most precious thing that you can give, into this project. And so to now have this other side where actually we have positive information on Dragon Age, and actually Dragon Age 4 is shaping up to be in a good direction based on a lot of media previews. A lot of media previews who I dare say have been very negative of Dragon Age. We're living it, folks. There's no reason to be negative about all the bullshit I see online. Like I don't even want to get into that kind of beat. But yes, hold them accountable when they need to be. And holding by leadership accountable, because there were some issues of the creative designer. There were some issues of leadership. According to current developers, there were some issues of that. And former developers. And that's a bag of worms that maybe Jason Schreier will talk about later on in life. Who knows? But right now, as it stands, from what we're seeing, this is good shit. This is good shit. And based on an exclusive article from Game Informer, very excited to play it. Bearing in mind that they were not excited for Dragon Age before. They'd played Inquisition. They had tuned into the marketing materials we've had of Dreadwolf or the Veilguard. They're now like, yeah, this is looking really good. So, and they want to see more. So that's me going off. I would listen to this for hours. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't normally go off like this in videos as much because I don't feel the need to. I feel like I convey enough. But I appreciate everybody actually allowing me to have my space to go off. I really appreciate it. What is chat thinking? Go off, King. Thank you, Decaster Dust. We love the devs. Can't wait to see what they made. Exactly. Like, again, not to go off, but like, when I see the developers on Twitter, at least the ones like I see on Twitter, because I mean the fact that they're on Twitter is bold enough, because the shit that they get on Twitter is crazy. A lot of them have moved to Bluey, whatever it's called. I always get confused with that dog TV show, Bluey. The one, Blue Sky, Bluey, whatever. The ones that are on there, they are literally saying like that they're putting their work into this, and they are so kind and lovely people. Genuinely lovely people who are pouring their heart and soul into this game. If it's audio, if it's animation, if it's graphic design, whatever the frick it is, they are putting their heart and soul into it. And they are so passionate about this project, the fact that they've got a Twitter account and they're representing this community on Twitter, which is crazy. That, and mad respect. Mad respect. So, Blue Sky, that's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make another tea. I'm going to get some tea. I'm going to get some crisps because I need to eat something. I'll be back in 2 minutes, folks. Go off in the chat. Let me know what you'd like to talk about next. Bluey, not Blue Sky. I forget. Let me get some tea. Your Brit needs more tea to calm his throat so we can go off again. But I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thank you for the memberships. Midnight Dreary, I appreciate it. I will read back up the comments. Please give me some. Go off in the chats, folks. We'll come back. We'll break down more of this article. Do not. Yeah. Well, we will continue this. But yes, I'm going to get some tea and some crisps. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Let me find the right slider. I'll leave you some nice music too. Crisps, chips. England, so crisps as in crisps, as in Tyrrells or McCoys. Okay, BRB. Okay, we are back. Oh, let me get the tinfoil hat back on. I saw one comment that said, I like how Jack titled this stream Breakdown because it could mean two things, and absolutely, it could mean a multiple ways of being interpreted, because this is definitely a breakdown as well. What are we talking about in chat? The first thing I did see was what happened to Varric. Yeah, what did happen to Varric? Also by crisps. These are the kind of crisps that we have in the UK. Best crisp ever. Thai sweet chili sensation. And it's not a fry. It's like a crisp. Like a potato chip. I think they call that in... they call them that in America. We do be having breakdowns. We love having breakdowns. I do apologise if I eat these crisps on stream. I'm not a mukbang or an ASMR kind of person, and I probably know that you don't subscribe for that content. But man, gotta eat sometime. Welcome back, Elton. Thank you to Cast the Dust. How are we feeling? What are the general vibes going around in chat? I think it might be over for Varric. Megan, no! Yeah, favourite sensations, they're so good. Varric will be an advisor, yeah? Oh, thank you, LB, thank you. Simply passed out. Baked. Baked. Are they baked crisps? I don't know. I'm not sure. Thanks, Megan. I'm down for some crispy content. Well, the only point of reference we have about Varric is it says after their encounter. Oh, what's it go? Oh, one second. Wait, where was it? Someone said Varric could be lost with Solas. Where was that comment? Lindsay, Varric trapped with Solas. That would be good. Lisa says could be they left out details Varric. Just whatever happens to him is so surprised. I'm coping. Don't mind me. No. Are crisps baked? I don't know if they're in this kitty, are they? Oh, Mr. Hugh, what was your question? Mr. Hulthen. My Swedish friend. What was your question? Yorkshire. Oh, I love Yorkshire, Dick Astor. As somebody, I would say I'm technically in Yorkshire, but my fellow peers would disagree with me. But Yorkshire. I do love Yorkshire. Technically live there, technically. Tesco crisps are the best. I need to try them. Yeah, Mr. Hulthen. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not good at THs. Mr. Hulthen. What? What was your question? We will hit it. So I'm curious as to whatever is going on with those statues that crumble in the gameplay reveal. Yeah, me too. I originally thought that Solas was killing each of the elven gods in that sequence because he casts a spell and one of them goes and a massive beam goes up. And I thought like each of those statues represented a god because there were 7 of them there, and we know that 7 of the gods were trapped. So maybe that's where Solas had originally trapped them. But then since the blights, having had 5 blights pass, the old gods are connected to the elven gods. I think that's literally, I think that's pretty much confirmed at this point. I do not think that's a theory anymore. I think maybe since then, having killed the blights, their physical forms may have passed away. So the Evanura's been killed off throughout the ages, and then Mathal's been collecting their souls, as we saw in Inquisition when she took the old god soul of Erthemiel from Kieran, if you had Kieran, sorry. But yeah, now it seems like he hasn't been killing them. He wasn't killing them in that final second, so that theory could still hold if the old gods are the elven gods. And that's why now 5 - 7. There's 2 statues remaining. Their prison was there. That's what it's confirmed, that Solas was holding them in their prison, and it was getting weak, so he tried to put them in a new prison. And instead, Rook intervened, and our blood was caught up in the ritual somehow. And then from that, it stopped his ritual, which then locked him in the Fade, and then pushed them into reality. So all gods, Evanuris, yeah, for schnizzle. For schnizzle. I am banking on it. Like the fact that we had this reveal of Tevinter is based on so many facets of ancient Elvenar, and that's been confirmed even more now. The fact that you've got Alluvians literally there. You've got You have the fact that so much magic and so much of the world, it literally used to be the Elven Empire. And now, you know, if they've taken so many aspects of their culture, their magic, and their technology based on the Elven Empire, it's not so a stretch to think that their gods are the same too, just with different names. Someone said that they broke 3 statues. Ooh, did they break 3 statues? Varric. So Varric, yeah, going back to Varric. Clearly they haven't mentioned it here. I'm going to read the section out again, actually, now we're talking about it. Because this, for me, was the juiciest stuff. Obviously, all of it was juicy. What if Solas the Maker... Ooh! Can you imagine? Yeah, we're going to read this out because this was the juicy, juicy, juicy stuff. So, let's read it again. So we've got the Nev bit. We already know Nev. So this ties into what I was saying. So as the heart of his hideout, we discover Solas's personal Alluvian. This magical mirror-like structure allows the gang to teleport and mechanically fast travel to the Arlathan Forest, where Solas is secretly performing the ritual while its effects pour out into Minrathous. Here we encounter a dozen or so of demons, which Bioware has fully redesigned on the original premise of these monstrous creatures. I didn't really take that in before, but the fact they actually have been fully redesigned. We saw the Pride Demon initially before the gameplay reveal, and we were like, is that a Pride Demon? Is it something different? What's going on there? And it's like, actually, yeah, no, that's a new design for a Pride Demon. Gil statue hit 1, then 1 hits Elganarns. Cool. I'll continue reading this and I'll come back. Rod says their creatures are fleeing and live and die off the emotions around them. As such, they are just a floating nervous system pushing into this world from the Fade, rapidly assembling it into bodies out of which scraps they find. That's out of whatever scraps they find. Now, I won't spoil the sequence of events here, but we stop Solas's ritual and seemingly save the world for now. Definitely did not look that way, obviously, in the preview we saw. Then Rook passes out moments later and wakes up in a dream-like landscape to the voice of none other than Solas. That reminds me instantly of the "They call me the Dread Wolf, what will they call you when this is over?" I don't think he'd say that to the Elven Gods because they already know who he is. I feel like that's our new protagonist, and oh, I'm living for it. He explains a few drops of Rook's blood interacted with the ritual, connecting them to the Fade forever. So connecting Rook to the Fade forever. He also says, so is that how so that gives us a connection to the Fade, and Solas being in the Fade connects Rook and Solas together, hence why Solas is speaking to Rook in a dreamlike state. So that means we're getting more content with Solas, as we know now because we're going to his hideout. But even so, Solas has a direct connection to Rook via this connection to the Fade, which is brilliant. He also says he was attempting to move Elganan and Gillanan, who are Evanurus or Elven gods from ancient times, to a new prison because the one he had previously constructed was failing. Unfortunately, Solas is trapped in the Fade by our doing, and these gods are now set free. It's up to Rook to stop them, thus the stage for our adventure is set. So, yeah, old gods, they are sleeping in a prison. Have you watched the Fade's teaser since the gameplay reveal? I haven't. We will, though. We will. But that for me is Elganan. So what I'm understanding there is we save the world for a second. And then let me get the gameplay preview up. Let me get the 4K version up. I will mute the audio. But I want to just fully take in this scene. Let me find it on my drive. Let me quickly mute the audio as well, so it doesn't blast out. So from this scene, not you. So statues are being destroyed. Our blood somehow gets connected to this ritual. So whatever happens, I'll move my cursor away so that goes away. So destroys the statue. We'll watch the Fader's Calls trailer just after this, folks. our blood somehow gets involved. So from this moment, they rise and he gets trapped in the fade. So he's going to go boop. He's going to pop away. And he's like, shit. They're going to start. So he's going to fade. He's going to fade away, Lamau. Don't freeze. Don't freeze. Oh, that's because I paused. So he's going to fade into there and they're going to rise out. And that's because of our blood. So we're going to pass out, what? And the Elven God's just going to go, yeah, we'll leave him. How is that going to work? I wonder. Are we going to hear him speak first? God, he looks so good. He does, doesn't he? I want to know. I want to know more. I want to know more. And also Varric. So there is, obviously, they're not going to spoil it, but there is some kind of bridged gap of what's going to happen between us. Obviously, the cutscene is cut. Yeah, it's cut. But there's going to be some kind of... we're going to see what's going to happen after Solas gets locked away and our Rook falls asleep or gets knocked out or whatever, passes out, sorry, and the Elven Gods escape. And then we're going to find out what happens to Varric, if he's still alive, which hopefully he is. And then whereabouts are we after that? After their encounter with Solas, Rook wakes up with Harding and Nev in the lair of the... So we're transported into the Fade. That's what's going to happen to us, but we're not in the Fade. So Solas is locked away because of the ritual, so the opposite effect has happened to him, whereas we just go into the Fade, but into Dreadwolf's domain, hence why the Elven Gods can't... Well, they're not going to kill us straight away, because we literally get pulled into the Fade, into the Dreadwolf's realm, which we assume is safe from the Elven Gods. So a special magical realm in the Fade called the Lighthouse. It's a towering structure centered amongst various floating islands. Much like Skyhold, the Lighthouse is where your team bonds, grows, and prepares for adventure. It also becomes more functional and homier as you do. Although already though, it's a beautifully distraught headquarters for the Veilguard, although they aren't quite referring to themselves as that yet. And if we go to the next page, because it was Solas's home base of operations, it's gaudy with its frescoes, murals, adornings, various walls. So hell yeah, we're going to see the past 10 years, I imagine, via murals. Maybe that's what they referred to when they said that we're going to see Solas with hair. Maybe in this place is where we're going to see that on murals. Definitely. We're getting some aspect of Solas's narrative via this hub for sure. If it's as literal, if it's as lair, like, come on. I wonder if this is a place where where did he wake up? You know, when he slept for a millennia, we don't know where he woke up. We know that he went to Ferelden. Well, he went to get his orb. And he was somewhere in Ferelden, but maybe this is where he slept. I'm going to eat a crisp now, I apologise. Absolutely sunset, dude. I 100% agree. Emily. I appreciate Solas's tastes. I like gold. It's true. Well, I mean, a small thing I noticed about that was purple and gold. Gold used to be the original Dragon Age hue or main colour of Dragon Age 4. Before we got the purple rework with Dreadwolf and now Veilguard. Obviously, it's not a tease on that, but there was clearly some kind of gold inclination that they originally wanted to hint on, that the game was originally going to do. And then they changed that to purple to suit maybe more as magic theme. Gold is a huge colour used in Ancient Elvenan as well. We see a lot of golden tints and armies representing Elven Elves, like the Sentinels we see in Inquisition. That's why I think the Veil Jumpers are still the Executors, all tying together to be some kind of Ancient Elven cult, because gold is such a rich colour, again, used by Ancient Elves. We've only really seen it in that capacity. So if the Executors are wearing gold, and the Ancient Elves wore gold, are they both connected? We'll find out. Solas best landlord, rent-free. What crisps? I'm eating Thai sweet chili sensations. Best crisps going. So good. Jack.asmr, let's go! Only if you want it. Purple and gold are both my favourites, so I'm basking in the colour scheme. Emily, you are probably going to love this then, I imagine. Beautiful, noble colours as well. I love it. Very royal regal. I like it. Since it's in the Fade, a realm of dreams that responds to the world state and emotion, the Lighthouse reflects the chaos and disrepair of Fadis you were in moments ago. So that's following the Elven Gods being revealed. We awaken the Fade. We speak to Solas in the presumably somewhere else in the Fade. So Solas isn't in the Lighthouse. He's somewhere else in the Fade. Most likely in this prison where the Elven Gods were locked away, or were going to be locked away. So Solas had a prison for them. That prison was getting crap after with time. He needs to create a new prison. He's chosen somewhere else. We presume the Black City because we see that fresco that was in the Dragon Age Day 2020 trailer of the Dreadwolf literally locked away in the Black City. And it seems like it'd probably be a good prison if it is blighted and decrepit. So that's what I'm assuming at least. But yeah, so let's say Solas is locked away in the Black City where he was going to put the Elven Gods because their older prison was being tarnished over the years. He isn't in this lighthouse with him, so we can't see him physically. We can't go up to him and talk to him. However, he can connect to us via the Fade, because the Dreadwolf's lair is in the Fade. Cool. Like it. I like it a lot. We're really opening up the Fade more. The fact that we've got a hub in the Fade is crazy. Hopefully, it's not just going to be greens. I mean, it says it's gold and it's purple, but I just hope the colour of it is nicer. But what I'm thinking about here is, it says here that it's going to reflect the world, state, and emotion. What if, like, really, this is a lot of effort, but what if, like, a character's really sad and the colour of the hub changes to suit that character's mood, and so you have to go and talk to that, and maybe it's like an indicator of actually go check in on Balara because she's feeling that emotion so intently after this massive plot scene. So the entire hub's changed based on her emotional reaction. How cool would that be? And I mean, that's something that they've hinted at, not just me tinfoiling it. Jack, do you think Solas' voice actor will be in Rook's head, guiding him as an advisor, as Rook is now tied to the Fade? The Cast of Dust, there is nothing more I would want than Gareth David Lloyd's voice constantly in Rook's head, guiding the player. That would be fantastic. I would love that. Yeah, honestly, Solas is my favourite Dragon Age character. I would love that. People are making so many good points right now. Sorry. Solas has Rook has the same dagger as Solas. True. Literally. Maybe but he probably won't give it to us. So we're going to get that somehow. That's going to connect us even more with Solas too. We've got his dagger as a weapon and as some kind of gameplay mechanic. And also having him connect with us on the Fade on a level. We're literally connecting with Solas on so many levels. Hopefully Solavelen can connect on Solas on that extra level. But also, Shadrock makes a brilliant point. Having the hub and the Fade makes a lot of sense for the Veilguard. Of course it does. That's such a good idea. That's why another reason why it's called the Veilguard, because they did say it originally in a blog. There are more reasons why, and also there are reasons for why each of the party joined the Veilguard, why they want to defend the Veil. Having our hub there's a great place because it's our home. The only thing is Solas going to kick us out and make us pay rent when we... Well, actually, I guess that's going to be a choice at the end of the game. Like, hey, I know we helped you with destroying the Elven Gods, and I know we kind of locked you in the Fade anyway, but like, can we keep this place? What are we going to do with it? Are you going to kick us out and move in with Lavellen? Are we just going to have to kill you? I don't want to do that, but like, can we kill you so we can keep it? Or is he going to start charging like rent fees, and it's like, right, give me 5 dead nugs a month, and I'll let you have it. I don't think Solas would eat nug. What would he eat? He doesn't drink tea. He'd probably eat shepherd's pie, wouldn't he? I think he's a shepherd's pie kind of man. What else have we got in this chat? People love Solas. People love Solas. Yes, they do. As they should. Somebody said something about the Inquisitor. Let me find that comment. You meet Inky and just hear Solas' voice saying, Vernon, and Rook said, can you imagine? Oh, I'd love that. I would love that. Can we still kiss Solas? I doubt it. I don't know, though. I mean, hey, let's see. Maybe if he wasn't romanced in Inquisition, maybe. But I doubt it. Maybe we'll see. Hopefully we'll see Solas and Lavellen kiss. Please. More. Dreadwolf kibble. that's what Solas will eat. That's a brilliant comment, Diarel. Can you read the small companion part on previous page? Yes, I can indeed. Solas, good landlord. Solas is shepherd's pie I just think he would be a shepherd's pie kind of guy. He spent a lot of time in Ferelden. I know he's obviously Arlathan. It was more Tevinter based, so he probably got more royal, regal dishes, and we don't even know what they ate in ancient Arlathan really. But I see him now. I see current Solas today. You know, hobo Solas and Inquisition eating shepherd's pie. Joined for, can I kiss Solas? Please show us hairy Solas. In what context, Valerie, do you want to see hairy Solas? I want to see, oh, I've got a brilliant tweet. Okay, pause. I have a brilliant tweet back from 2020 to show you all that I still remember to this day from John Epler of the kind of Solas that I want to see. Where is it? It sticks out like a sore thumb. I was going to say like a raw thumb. That wouldn't make any sense. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? It was 2020. I should have called it one thing, and I know what I would have called it. Oh, it's around here. Are you it? You're not it. You're not it. You're not it. You're not it. That's the sexy tree stuff. Well, it was when they wished they could show us more. Muppets reference. One of the current plot names is a Muppets reference that Mark hasn't noticed yet, or at least hasn't maybe changed. I would love to know what that Muppets reference was. Where are you? It was such a funny Solas reference. There it is! Swolas! I get to reference this in the meeting today, and it made my career has peaked. That's Swolas, folks. Are we getting Are we getting swollen? Megan already knew. Megan already knew. Are we going to get Swolas in the Veilguard? We have to, right? Best egg boy. So somebody wanted me to read the character customization. Bearded Solas, no. Can you imagine? That's what he looked like with hair. He was still bald, but he had a beard. Like, yeah, that's Solas with hair. Oh, man. Right, the character customization. Was it chat? Oh, I forgot who was in the chat. Did you want the character customization? Or did you want the companion customization? I could never forget Swolas. I hope we get Crocky ass. Oh no. Oh man. What if we see Solas shirtless? What then? What will we do? What will people do with that? Maybe that's what the M rating maturity's for. It's just for Solas. You're gonna see more on his chest. Oh no. I love. Thing is, Alistair, I always think of as like an iconic favorite Dragonlance character in terms of like, I like him. I relate to him. He's fun. He's just a sweetheart, golden retriever energy. I have his figurine. He's a good inspiration, and I've known him since I was young, a good couple of years. But I think of Alistair, like the thing about Solas's narrative isn't done, and I latch on to what that could be. And I also just love his character from Inquisition and the exploration of him even more so. And also the Sullivan romance, I really like how deep, poignant, and tragic it is. He leaves the villain for a reason. He's not just what's the word? What's a kind word? He's not pathetic. He's not just a coward. He has an ultimate reason. And while his behaviour or his attitude to maybe not speak up to the villain about that is cowardice, he is not a coward in his own right. He has an ultimate reason for leaving her, because if he didn't leave her at that moment, he would have never left her ever, because she would have joined him. And so that deep, meaningful, hurts so much, impactful. Also, he's based on my favourite character ever, the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who, whose main attributes are being witty and lonely, and I love those attributes. So I would say Varick's narrative's Alistair's narrative's complete, and I love Alistair, and I love seeing him again in Inquisition, and he, again, brilliant character. Love so much about him. Always puts a smile on my face. But that's more like the fun side stuff, the fun, light-hearted wit, the being your sense of relief in the heart of darkness during Inquisition Origins plot. However, Solas Solas' narrative arc isn't done, and apparently this game is acting as a conclusion to it. So, like, for me, while we've had Alistair, Solas' narrative isn't finished, and it's hard for me to just say that I like Alistair more than Solas or I like Solas more than Alistair because we need the conclusion of it, and I need to see what that conclusion is for me to then tell you who my favourite companion is. Sorry, my favourite character of Dragon Age is. But I would say it more so is Solas because of the fact that I relate to him on a deeper personal level than Alice's wit and charm. But it's not about relating it, it's about the fun charmness, uniqueness of the characters themselves. But Solas is literally based on my absolute favourite character of all time. Not even one of them. My absolute favourite character of all time, David Tennant's David Doctor. And like time traveller, out of place, out of time, man frozen in time kind of trope. With the Titanic music plays. Dex was talking about Solas. You know, that trope, and then with that, the Rose Tyler Doctor romance, for those who know, it literally is Soul Llewellyn hell. And I love that, except the thing with the Rose and Doctor romance is we got closure with that, where we probably won't get this for Veilguard, we might, I don't know. But spoilers for a 10, 12-year-old, more than that, almost 20-year-old series. But in that narrative, the Doctor gets a human clone of him that gets to stay with Rose Tyler forever, and they get that closure because he gets to go on he's an alien. He gets to go on and do what he wants as his own separate thing. But there's a human version of him that can die, that has one heart, that can live a human life, that can get a job, that gets to do that with Rose. Really, very, very fan servicey way to end it, but it was fantastic for me as a Rose mancer. Doomsday music intensifies. I agree, Sasha. And so that narrative is inspired by Sullivan, but obviously more tragic, with not as much. For me, not as much foreshadowing on what the conclusion could be. I don't know, fellow Solas mancers, what do you think about the conclusion for Solas in the Veilguard? Sorry, for Solas and Llewellyn. I'm thinking like 9 would be a good comparison too. It's true. Gasp Jack Decaster. Solas can live a mortal life. That's the thing. If we think about what's been foreshadowed is we have the quest All New Faded for her, where Solas's best friend was killed, or was their purpose was changed from wisdom to pride, literally what Solas was or is, and they became perverted into a pride demon, and we then killed. Well, no, we used a ritual to revert them, and then they were reborn as a new spirit. And we're like, it's okay, you can just go meet that spirit again, can't you? And they were like, no, I can't. They won't know who I am. They're a different person completely. They're going to forget me. I can't just go and do that. That could be an avenue for Solas. We could literally defeat him, and he can come back as a new Solas, a new version of himself. That's a bit of I think that's a bit of a scapegoat, in my opinion. Again, I'm going to read all the chat in a minute, but I think it's a bit of a scapegoat because it kind of, for me, removes all of the consequences of his actions. Yes, he's a different person. Yes, he's renewed. But there was a version of him that has caused all this chaos and that literally tried to kill thousands of people. And then you have, like, the romance storyline of just him working with Rook together, potentially opening up a narrative where maybe Solas realizes the failures of his years. That dialogue we got with the gameplay, Varric said, you rebelled against the elven gods. That failed. You destroyed. You created the veil, and that failed. What else is this going to do? What else are you going to do that's going to fail? Basically, not verbatim, but he said that. That to me indicates that Solas, in some regard, is going to be self-aware of his scheme and be like, right, actually, having seen the elven gods, even though it was Rook's fault, I was the one who initiated that. I was the one using this dagger to destroy the veil. Yes, Rook did start that, but I was the one to initiate it. Maybe having Rook shown me, having Llewellyn come into this narrative, or Inquisitor come into this narrative, maybe it's like, actually, you know what? I don't need to destroy the veil. I'm going to be content with this world. Is that a narrative that could happen? I don't know. Ooze Sky said one of the writers mentioned Solas's romance was based on Phantom of the Opera. I would love to see this tweet because I really need that exposition myself. I'm a big Phantom of the Opera fan, but I personally don't see it. When I think of Phantom of the Opera, I think of a victim of a man who has been vilified by his own mother his entire life and kept that victim complex throughout his life. And instead of, obviously it's easier said than done, but instead of going to therapy, instead of working that out and working that past out and not living in that past and becoming something else, not living in that victim mentality. He stayed in that mentality and lived his life as a victim, which became an ultimate villain. All a villain really is a victim whose story was never told, and that is what the Phantom of the Opera is. He is a villain whose story was never told until Phantom of the Opera, when we get those revelations. But I don't really see that dynamic with Christine Dyer and Phantom, or Christine Dyer and Eric. And Solas, I see the age difference, but again, 10th Doctor is what I think, where he is a millennia years old dating a 19-year-old. So that is a bit sketch. Yeah, that is it's a bit sketch. But yeah, let me read the comments because I know I just vomited a lot there. So people think about Solas's ending. Live a mortal life. Tragic character. Oh, thank you, Deesa, for saying that these hangouts bring you so much joy. I appreciate it. Sacrifice. Sasha says sacrifice. That's a good way to go. I agree. Yeah, he sacrifices his life for. And also, like, this isn't just going to be one finite ending. I believe that there'll be a sequence of endings. I reckon there will be. For those who want to kill him from Trespasser's Choice of the Inquisitor, yep, you can do that. For those who want to save him or redeem him, you can do that. And for those who want to romance him, can we do that? I do reckon that choice, I think, is going to play into part. Solas is going to die, stuck in the Fade forever. Laverne will die together. Tragic love story. Oh, happy. We either get him out of the Fade or Laverne goes to the Fade to stay with Solas. Oh, I mean, the Black City's blighted as well. Ooh. Thank you, Lady Sullivan. Appreciate it. What if Laverne and Solas live in the Fade together? People, oh, okay. Hope my Laverne can join him. Thank you for killing the other gods and take over the world. It could happen. It absolutely could happen. We get to kill okay, Sim Taylor. Solas needs us happily ever after in the Fade. They can be together. His story can end about his death, whether he becomes mortal or Laverne becomes immortal. That sounds good. Bioware could not let Solas die alone. I think that could be an option too. Tranquil Solas. Honestly, he made Felicien tranquil, you know. Solas redemption arc. What if he's right though? I mean, again, his intentions are right, but his actions are not, and that's what makes a good villain. A villain. Crypheus, what was his intentions? I want to lead this world and become its new god. It comes from because he followed a faith for so long. That faith ended up not being silent, not being reciprocated. That faith being a false deity, basically, and being like, you know what? I have followed this religion for so long, and I've been scorned. I'm gonna seek to become my own god because screw this world. It was a really good, like, backstory of Cepheus Alamadis that just wasn't executed well, and we got that backstory in lore as opposed to actually getting it, you know, throughout his narrative, like we have Solas. Sorry, I'm still reading people's stuff. Good foreshadowing of Blackwall. I agree to that, Obsidian. There could be some foreshadowing of Blackwall. Laverne immortal, Solas becomes mortal. Again, that would be like Doctor Who. That'd be good. But the thing is, he does work with Dylan Terrell. Jack, did you finish the article? We did. We're going to break it, but we're just talking about what we've been spent like an hour talking about Solas, but it's because there's so much to talk about regarding that front. But we'll continue to look at it more in a second. Solas is the incel in my theatre walls, ribbit. Yeah, anybody got any more Phantom of the Opera correlations with Solas? Sasha, Jack, our group are Phantom girlies, and we all agree the Phantom thing makes no sense. It's true. We are all we're all Phantom girlies. I don't see the correlation personally. The Phantom should have just gone to therapy. You heard it first. Someone call Andrew Lloyd Webber. Get that in your next edition. Oh man. You literally just explained Solas. Did I? I don't think I did. I don't think Eric is anything like the Phantom. He's not a victim. I don't see Solas as a victim in the slightest. He's not. Solas, you could say, was forced into this world as a spirit, given a body that he didn't want. But I don't think he was ever... He wasn't vilified. Yes, he was vilified as an elven god among the rebellion, among Lamets. He was vilified in that regard, but not... Never has he had a victim complex. He is very sure and assertive of who he is. He's not a victim. I don't... Again, I'm open for debate. I'll fight this 10th Doctor allergy to my death, lol. In April, I visited London. I'm from Germany and saw Phantom of the Opera for the first time. It was amazing. Ah, Ruby, do you remember who you had? Who did you have? I literally went last month and had Lily co-host, and it was fantastic. Yeah, Bill, the 10th Doctor Night Rose thing, it gets a little weird. Sorry, I know I'm reading a lot of old comments now, but I wanted to read I like to read what everybody's thinking. Oh, Decaster, just I'm really thankful, grateful that our chats are getting you through hard times. It's if there's anything I can do on this world, it's just create a community that actually is happy and content to talk about this stuff for days, and I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm getting back to modern chats now. I think I'm getting super chats. I apologize. I will get to them. Right. Okay, I'm gonna have to skip to the front. I'll look at these super chats. Sorry, everybody. Just spam me. Spam me with your Phantom stuff, Doctor Who stuff. Gareth Green. Does anybody else agree with Soros about the veil? I agree about the fact that, like, he says there were miracles, people were getting healed. You can imagine, like, if you knew, again, very serious example, but it gives us some context. If you knew if you knew the cure to cancer, would you kill everybody in this world so you could save everybody in the next world? Extreme example, but the cause, the intention is there. You could, in your own mind, hypothetically, be saving people. You don't know that, but you can understand that element. Again, I don't agree with his actions. I agree with his intentions of finding a way to bring the two realities together, but he said there is no other way, and that's what makes him so compelling. Oh, thank you, Virginia Muir, for the super chat. Appreciate your time, energy, and optimism. I really appreciate it. He is prideful. It's true. Okay, right. Last super chat. Gareth Green again. Thank you. So it appears that Gillinan is Lucican and Gillinan is Razakale. If that theory is true, also looks bleak for Varric. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Okay. Solas is the problem. Solas doesn't have anything in common with Eric. If anything, I think they'd hate each other. Sydney. I appreciate Solas's, but I can fix it. Personality. Yeah, exactly. The story behind Solas of Dragon Age, lead writer Patrick Wiggs, that's where they mentioned it. Thank you, Ozzy, Oz Sky. I'll check that out, thank you. Let me make a note of that. I will check that out. Appreciate it. Sorry, still checking back at all comments. Ooh. Melfina, I don't think it was too much. I think Solas said that he lived in a world of immortality, magic, miracles. I don't think that's too much of a stretch. I personally don't think so. Have you watched Patrick Weeks' interviews? I have seen the ones from the I can't remember the talk show they went to. They went to a physical live event. It was Jen Epler and Patrick Weeks, and it was talking about trespass. It was fantastic. Weeks in an interview said Solas and Llewellyn had a student-teacher relationship. Okay, cool. I'm getting you. I wanted to tear down the veil about genocide. Exactly. I'm currently doing some 3D animation. Oh, where'd it go? For my job, while listening to this, Nicola from a few years would not have believed that this is my life right now. It's so sick. Thank you so much for tuning in, Nicola, while doing your 3D animations. It's brilliant. The Red Room Idol is actually Varric. That will be a twist. Thank you, Hunter. Appreciate it. Okay, any more rampant thoughts on Solas, Phantom, Doctor Who before we move on to the next topic? I could talk about Solas for days. I think we literally spent a good fair bit on that, but yeah. It seems some people don't like the approach of the article in majority of the spoilers. Oh, really? Oh, okay. I've just received the article and then I have streamed straight away, so I haven't seen the reception to it. I haven't even looked if Byra have tweeted. I'll have a look in a minute. Are we going to talk about nudity in the character creator? Yeah, we did before. I reckon it'll be like Cyberpunk. If you ever played Cyberpunk, like, it's glitchy at the start. So you would just have private parts popping out of the clothes, meshing. And you're like, okay. Right then. It was, yeah, pretty crazy. To cast the dust, Solas needs to accept that some wrongs can't make a right. Hopefully, Llewellyn can make him see. She already made him see that he was wrong about the world. So it's true. She has been the one. she has been so many people to make that comparison. I know the Inquisitor as well has, as a friend as well. People mentioning the Ninth Doctor as well. The thing about Bioware is they can be really ballsy with their choices. When you play the Mass Effect trilogy, I know it's a trilogy, so it's just the same continued narrative, and it's not like Dragon Age, but if you wanted to get the best ending for the Qunari and the Geth, the Qunari, no, the Quarians and the Geth, you had to do so many nuanced choices in Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 to get that option to have them both be okay with each other. Do you reckon Bioware right now could be so ballsy to get the best ending for Solas? You have to romance him. You have to make nuanced choices. You have to be his friend. I think so. And I think that's actually a way to respect our choices even more so. If not that, I definitely think there will be some alt ending for Solas and the Velen. So, Sarah, you think more Ninth Doctor comparisons? I do get that. Ninth Doctor for me, but from Patrick Weeks' mouth, Solas is more based on 10th Doctor. The loneliness, the wittiness, whereas 9th, I do get you though. 9th is more like a war veteran, still experiencing huge aspects of that, almost like a post-traumatic stress disorder. It's, yeah. But we do know that from Patrick Weeks' mouth that they have based Solas on more so 10th. I've finished the Mass Effect. Sorry about that, Sarah. Are there any spoilers in the article? Nothing that overtly gives it away, I don't think. That's the thing, the nature of news content now. We get the hub, we get the sense of the opening, and we get the sense of the first mission, or after the prologue. And a few other little tidbits. Yeah, JD Mead, that... Ninth Doctor was more sad and angry than the 10th Doctor. Yes. 10th Doctor's more... What's the word? Yearning. Especially if you've seen Doomsday. 10th Doctor's more witty. Not saying 9th isn't witty, I'm just saying more witty. Okay. Right. What should we change our attention to now besides Solas? Because I could go on and on and on. Decay Duster, knowing that Solas was based on 10th Doctor actually wrecks my heart. 10 is so devastating and so lonely. Solas deserves to be happy. It's true. It's true, but the 10th did get their own closure in a weird way. Ruby, going off now. Thanks a lot for reading this article and discussing theories. It was so fun. Have a nice evening, everyone, or whatever time it is in our country. Thank you, Ruby, so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Solas is not witty. He's not, but he's... You know what I mean? What about, am I riding in on a striding horse? I would have suggested a griffin, but sadly they are extinct. It's got that charm to it. He's got a bit of wit, no? What about, he does have wit. What about that other line that he says about being, the really, lusty one. What does he say? Jack does mental, so this is more charming and funny and cool than the in-game character. No! He's charming. Sullivan's in the chat. Is Solas charming? What about the other one he says? Oh, what's that one? The line of dialogue that he says after the Grey Wardens. He's got the riz if you romance him. Solas is witty. Am I riding in on a stride? Wink, wink, wink. What does he say? Please, people, give me some... Solas quotes. There's that one that's in my head and I can't remember what it is. It's very flirty. I have yet to see it dominated. I imagine that site would be fascinating. Solas is charming. See, chat coming in for me. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. I'm sorry, I cannot hear you over your outfit. He's the smoothest egg. He's a wizard. Oh, what does he say? He says something really, really, really charming and it's flirty and I can't remember it. Solas flirty dialogue. Getting into bed. Just, yeah. That one. There was another one. No, I'm declaring it. It was not a subject for debate. This one! You're being grim and fatalistic in hopes of getting me into bed, aren't you? I am grim and fatalistic. Getting you into bed is just an enjoyable side benefit. That's the one, which chat did mention. Yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yeah. Yeah. He is charming. For me, I think he's charming. Yeah. And chat agrees. Jack is about to venture into the depths of fanfics. Again, we all take away what we can from these, and everybody has different interpretations, which is cool to respect and appreciate that everybody perceives a character differently. I think he's charming. I think he's a smooth egg. You know, I mean, that line as well is a pretty charming. I mean, it's a pretty charming line. And it's like, people like it. I mean, my hot take is, I mean, he's got an attractive face, but you know, he's not that overtly attractive. It's his personality and his enigma that makes him equally attractive. His inquisitive nature, good pun, and the fact that he's actually an intelligent guy. It's his intelligence that makes him more attractive. His wittiness, his remarks. Yes, he's got the looks. He's got a nice face, but I think it's his personality that people are most attracted to. I think. We'll see. What other people think? Obviously up to them. Faders Calls trailer, please. Okay, Rivet, thank you. Sorry, I did forget. Let me just check Twitter to see if we've got anything new. Very, 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 very quickly. Very, 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 very quickly. His boldness makes him attractive. Okay, fair dues. Fair enough. I'm personally, as a solo villain, I like his personality. But it's cool because we're all part of a community with varying, diverse opinions, which is great. Nothing from BioWare. BioWare is the next schedule of summer content. No, it's okay. I actually have time now to have time to make this next video before we get something new. Okay. Right, that'll do Twitter for the moment. I'll keep a tab on that. DeCuster, his voice, yep, absolutely. I can put his intellect, his wit, his narrative, flirtation, kiss animations, about to start barking over here. I completely forgot about his voice, that Dalish lilt, which is Welsh. Yeah. I actually did meet Solas's voice actor when... I know, let's change the subject from Solas to It's Solas Charming. We can't escape the egg. We love him. I met Gareth Tibbard-Lloyd when I was 20... It was the year Inquisition came out. 2015. The photo of me is awful. I look like... I mean, I look like a 15-year-old. But he was such a nice man. I just went, I went up to him very shy, like, "Hi, Gareth, can I get a photo with you?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course you can, man." And he literally, obviously he has that Welsh, I'm not going to mimic a Welsh accent, but he literally put his arm around me and just was like, reached in close to me, and I'm like, "Ah." And he looks more happier than me in the photo than I do. I'll get it up. Again though, you've just heard, it's not a good photo of me. Just bear that in mind. It is not. Do I have it on my images? I'm sure I've got it somewhere. I do, I've got it right here. I hate the photo of me, actually. I hate it. But we'll just zoom in on Gareth. That's yeah, I know, gross. That's me when I was a kid. Well, 12, 13, 14 years ago. But he's more happier than me. Pubescent Jack. But yes, I did meet him and he was fantastic. On the Saturday, we went on the Sunday. Eve Miles, who voice acts Meryl, was there on the Saturday. But we got Gareth on the Sunday, which is fantastic. But yes, his voice. We forgot about his voice. Gareth Tibbard-Lloyd, I love you. He is in Torchwood. That's when I first saw him. Again, huge Doctor Who fan, if you couldn't tell. I first saw Gareth in Doctor Who. I also saw him in a few episodes of Waterloo Road, which is a deep cut British drama. And I've seen him in a few other things as well. I love Gareth Tibbard-Lloyd. He's fantastic. Fantastic. Jack, you look fine. Thank you, Rivet. But, little Jack. Yeah. That's what I love about Dragon Age as well, is that they incorporate so many of my fandoms together naturally, because the writers like it. Doctor Who creating Solas, apparently speculations of Phantom of the Opera inspiration. Huge fan of that, and getting a lot of actors from Torchwood and Doctor Who as voice actors into Dragon Age throughout the years, from Eve Miles to Gareth David Lloyd to, hopefully they're going to bring Martha Jones, which would be Freema Agaiman as Vaya, to loads of other characters. I'm blanking at the moment, but there are more people. I'm sure chat can let me know too. But yes, yeah, I'm pretty sure there was Erimond of Rantium's voice actor is in Doctor Who. More so like now Irma Varman, who is in Torchwood, and in a new episode of Doctor Who, is Vivienne. And she's got a brilliant voice. You'll have known her from Game of Thrones. She was... I can't remember her name. But yeah, brilliant character. And many more. People throw them in the chat. Love Water the Road, deep cut, yeah. What we're going to do is, for Rivet, we're going to watch the Fate Calls trailer together. Or Lynette, they will drop the character creator at some point. It's going to be so good. So for Rivet, just for Rivet, we're going to watch this, have some thoughts on it, and if we pivot back to Solas, then we pivot back to Solas. But Sand Snake Woman, that's it. Thank you. If we pivot back to Solas, then we pivot back to Solas. But we will watch the Fadus Calls teaser, and then we'll go. Thank you. You're welcome, Rivet. I know you've been waiting for so long. We're just in it. We're in it. We're in the conversations. So I will turn the volume up, and we will... I'm going to eat some crisps while doing this too, actually. It gives me a hot second to do that. Illyria Sand. Thank you, Malusha. Appreciate it. Okay. One second. I have my desktop audio muted, which is perfect. Let's do it again. Round 2.
We fight for everyone, and we always will. The crows rule Antiva.
Glory to the risen gods. They've come to deliver this world.
Grey Wardens don't hide in our castle. I won't ask good soldiers to turn tail and run.
All the world will soon share the peace and comfort of my reign.
What do we think, folks? End voice is definitely Elganon, right? I thought that was Timothy Dalton too, genuinely. Elganon ending, peace and comfort of my reign. I'm just so glad it actually was Elganon, because it was like, oh, it could be Durfman, it could be Paladin, it could be Junet, it could be any of the other ones, but it's Elganon. Megan, question is, can I riz up Elganon? It's a good question to ask. Back when Dave was dad. Back when we knew him. Before parents. Before the divorce. The Archon end voice was amazing. This, to me, was the first indicator that we were having a villain flip. Hence why I made my Evil Gods video. But in the same vein as that, it's Dragon Age. There's always two villains. There's always two threats at play. Always. There always has been. From the Blight and the Archdemon and Loghain to the Mage and Templar War, to Red Lyrium in the way of Dragon Age 2, to the Mage and Templar War again with Corypheus and also Solas. But the Mage and Templar War wasn't obviously a significant Inquisition because we sorted it out straight away. Dave will always be daddy. He will. He will always be our daddy. Any other thoughts on this one, folks? The Lord of Fortune Executor Ravani character is what throws me. Maybe a cultist. They got a very throaty voice.
They've come to...
I'll put it a bit louder.
Deliver. Glory to the risen gods. They've come to deliver this world.
Elven God Worshipper, Cunari, Lord of Executor. It's showing Ravane. Each of these locations show a particular character, have a character's voice of a location for a reason. They match up together, they marry up together. They have also a little bit of a sound beforehand. So you've got the crows here with what we think is Andrettia Cantori or Caterina della Morte. Could be either. Ravane here, you have the sound of like waves or sea monster, like waves or wind or a sea ship or whatever. And then you have a very throaty voice, which the thing about Ravane is it's a land not governed by the Chantry. It probably has loads of cultists, religions, sects, not sex, sects of a variety of beliefs in Thedas. So it could be an elven god cult, it could be an executor, it could be so many things that we just don't know. It could be Tevinter cultist. I think though, because it's in this location, it relates to that location. Hence why I don't think it's just a Tevinter cult. Because for specific reasons, they have placed these characters with these locations. So when we're going to Ravane, we know about Ravane is it's swarmed by dragons and it's lost dominion of the Lord of Fortunes, but the Lords of Fortunes are from Ravane, and it's not governed by the Chantry anymore, or it really hasn't. So it's a land ruled by all of that. All that Solus talk got one thing on Jack's mins. Mind, it's true. It is true. I get what. Oh no. Oh no. It could even be something non-human. What if it's a dragon speaking to us, or an old god worshipper? If the old gods are the elven gods, more reason for them to worship them because they've risen. They are here. They're real. I wonder if that's going to have an effect on Tevinter's culture. Sorry, I'm going to say that a lot slower. I got excited there. I wonder if the elven gods being the old gods, which is most likely going to be true, it's going to have an effect on Tevinter's culture. Because if they've believed that these gods are real and now they are manifest in the flesh as gods and they're believing it's Razakal and Lucican, they're going to be like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'm not bothered. We'll believe you, we'll follow you. Hence why parts of Tevinter might be like, yeah, let's follow Razakal and Lucican. They've risen. It'll be good to see. That makes sense from some another kind of narrative of whatever factions, which would be the Minotauri, relating to believing the old gods have risen, or maybe even more magisters. Like Fen'Harel has risen, or has, yeah, he has. Yeah, it'd be cool to see that, and it would make all of it converge together instead of having like an old god cult over here, just fiddling about with Tevinter or whatever, and having like a separate storyline. This would converge together because it fundamentally goes back to the elven gods, making the narrative more cohesive. Instead of it being like, you're going to find out about the old gods and they're not actually the elven gods and it's a different thing, and we're going to uncover that as well as uncovering other things too in the elven lore. It feels like it's going to be more just to the point of actually it's all connected. That's what I feel like, at least. The Grey Warden, I think, is Grey Warden Ramesh. He's a very old, it sounds like Timothy Dalton, old. Grey Warden Ramesh is in his calling. He was introduced in the Horror of Hallmark. He is a senior warden. And he says something like, Grey Wardens can't just tell him to head, tail, and run, something like that. So obviously he's standing at Adamant Fortress. Something bad is going on with the Grey Wardens, and we know that already, unfortunately, because of leaks. So I won't delve into the leak part, but picture this. The elven gods are blighted, or are bringing the blight to the world. We have potentially 2 blights upon Thedas now. Who else is blighted in the midst? Oh, it's the Grey Wardens. So, yeah. I think there could be some machination involving the Grey Wardens, the elven gods, the blights, all that. Can we listen to it again? Of course you can, Lynn. It gives me a chance to eat some crisps.
We fight for everyone, and we always will. The crows rule Antiva.
to the risen gods. They've come to deliver this world.
Grey Wardens don't hide in our castle. I won't ask good soldiers to turn tail and run.
All the world will soon share the peace and comfort of my reign.
Yeah, things are not going well for the Wardens, I don't think. I mean, I don't really want to delve into the leaks. I'll ask the question. I live in a democracy, so do you want me to talk about the Grey Warden leak from the initial gameplay leak that happened in February 2023, or should we leave it and just continue with our speculations? Oh, my brother has tried to call me. Do it. No. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. Leak. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. 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 Okay. I live in a... we're a democracy here, so yes. You don't need going master. Okay, so... Leaks is for the weeks. It's not a crazy leak. And I've covered it like 500 times on my channel anyway. And it's likely changed, as Quinty says. So, we'll just talk about it. So basically, if you don't want to listen to this, mute me for like a minute. Or, yeah. So basically, based on the leak, we have Darkspawn attacking Fortress Weishaupt, another dragon. So it assumes that disaster. That's true. The Game Informer article released more about than the leaks. True. The GameSpot, sorry, the leak revealed that there was dragons and Darkspawn attacking Fortress Weishaupt. Something was not going really well. And to be fair, it actually didn't reveal that much. But if we look at concept art of Fortress Weishaupt, give me a minute to find it. We get a sense of some kind of Fade Rift, Fade Realm thing. It's something I speculated back in 2020, not even considering the leak. This is Fortress Weishaupt. Is that... That's curious, because that's not their logo. It's interesting. And like, yeah, they're fighting here, and it's a green Fade Rift. Not even related to the leak, but what the hell's going on there? It looks like there's the veil coming down. Maybe the Elven Gods are going to attack. That's my interpretation. That the Elven Gods are going to attack Weishaupt. Maybe a full, like an Adamant Fortress kind of mission, or a Battle of Oscar kind of mission. And that's maybe related to their plan to bring the blight on the world. Think about it. We learned from the Game Informer article that the Darkspawn are rising to the surface, having been hidden away in the deep roads. They're blighted, controlled by the blight. You potentially have two... the Elven Gods potentially could be untainted old gods. So they are the archdemons of the world. But obviously they're not archdemons, they're untainted. What else is tainted that can easily be manipulated that we've seen in Dragon Age Inquisition, as they all followed suit when they thought they heard the calling, and they then went to a Tevinter Venatori cult member to get the Nightmare Demon to then go into the Deep Roads and kill the remaining two sleeping old gods. Oh, it's the Grey Wardens, who are very, very easily manipulated and are just as controlled by the taint as the Darkspawn. So, if all I'm thinking, if the Darkspawn are rising to the surface after so long being, in the Deep Roads, what's going to happen to the Wardens? Also, if Rook's a Warden, what's going to happen to Rook? That's what I'm thinking. The false calling coming full circle. Literally. Like, it foreshadowing that, but also literally coming full circle, because, like, this could be two major blights. That's what I think. That's genuinely what I think is going to happen. And then what I think what happens is that opens the game up. Say we do get 2 blights, and that's the old gods as untainted archdemons, whatever. Then that opens the game up. Say the game ends with finishing the 2 blights, or like the Veil gets destroyed or whatever. It opens up, right, okay, you've sorted the blights out. No more blights are happening now after Dragon Age 4. I know we're talking about Dragon Age 5 and we shouldn't even be. But it then opens Dragon Age 5 to just be about Mafal, who I think is the ultimate baddie. Baddie with a capital B. Because we're going to get soulless closure this game. But basically, we're getting soulless closure. We've got the 2 elven gods, who we presume are the old gods, being 2 left because the rest have been slain or have been captured by Mafal's essence, who's caught them throughout the years by turning them into archdemons, and there's only 2 left now. That means that Solas is getting closure, whatever's happening with him, that's happening. 2 elven gods who are malevolent are going to have their closure or defeat. And then guess who's left? Mafal. Which means you've got your blights, you've got a lot of plot being answered. Devinter, old gods, a lot of that deep stuff. If we're going to the Black City, if we're going to the heart of creation itself, that uncovers the Maker's non-existence, or regardless of the Maker, the Black City and its mysteries, old gods, blight, the origin of the blight. If we're literally getting the fact that the elven gods control the blight or are manifesting the blight, clearly they have some connection to the blight. We're getting all those answers. What does it leave? What else does it leave? It just leaves Mafal, who is here, kind of hanging about, like yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll and reclaim whatever she wants to reclaim now. A vengeance that will shake the very heavens. But if there are no elven gods, then who's she going to reclaim that on? Maybe she's captured 5 of their souls. Speculatively based on the previous blights. So, what's gonna happen? That's what I think, anyway. I think Mafal's the ultimate baddie. I don't know what her reasonings will be. Of course, there's plenty of time to find that out. Besides the vengeance that will shake the reckoning that will shake the very heavens, whatever. If the elven gods are dead, I don't really know who that could be about. But it's and also if we're dealing with Mafal's husband in this game too. It gives her a sense to come back in some capacity, but yeah, I think that's what Veilguard's going to answer, leaving us to deal with her in the next game, or at least leaving it open. Because what else do you need to close off besides all that major stuff? Titans, yes, that is a big one. To be honest, Titans is huge. We don't know what's going on with them, really. Dwarven stuff. I mean, we're getting loads of Dwarven content, we assume, with Kalsharok. A Qunari's identity, that could, we think we're getting a Qunari presence in this game, we think. Mafal's, the old god baby, Kieran. Oh, well, he won't be a baby anymore, will he? He'll be 20, no, how old was he? He'll be in his 20s, I think. But that's all under the implication that maybe this game's going to get 2 blights. I originally thought that 2 blights was going to be reserved for Dragon Age 5, and then we were going to bring back very, 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 very fan-servicey, but if it's the final Dragon Age game, bring back every single companion from all the previous games, and have a party of your previous main characters. And that would be, as a homage to Dragon Age Origins, having a massive game about 2 blights and ending the blights. But equally as an homage to Dragon Age Origins, having the villain from the very, very start of the game, Mafal, be then the end boss, and then you can have companions or heroes come back for that one, and then the hero front's like, I thought she was, I thought I killed her off. Obviously, Mafal doesn't die that easily, but I reckon that could be an option too. But that's and I know a lot of people's fanservice wish that we're going to get a massive Dragon Age 5 that has every single hero from the previous games, and we just all come together to fight a greater evil, which would be Mafal. Isn't Kieran basically normal now? Yeah, kind of. Dragon Age fanservice party of love and happiness, exactly. But I think this game is going to basically, and for those who don't like it, I get it, but it's going to say it was the elves all along. And I get that massively. It like, just based on the fact that Minrathous is built on the Elven Empire, that have into Old Gods, and also the fact that this is the 4th game and I need to start wrapping things up instead of opening up new plot points. I really hope that, I wish that I don't have an indication on, obviously because the game we've only seen bits of, is that this game's just going to answer questions instead of, asking them. And that's what they said. They did say that we're going to answer questions that you haven't even thought about. So I'm excited for that. And it seems that Bioware are going to be doing that. Just because we're this point in the series, and I don't really want another big bad being introduced like the Titans. I like the Titans, but like another one. Something that has to be, something that's already been in the lore, already revealed, already going on. Unless I don't want it to be a 5-game plan. Also, what if this is the final Dragon Age game? We don't know that either. I don't think it will be. But I don't know. Obviously, nobody knows. Besides, I don't even think, yeah, we don't. Who knows? But Dragon Age has been planned as a saga, a 5-game plan. It just depends on what they're doing. We'll have to see. We also do know that the Fade, the person in the Fade choice that you made in Inquisition is not going to be relevant in Veilguard, which means to me, maybe they're saving that for Dragon Age 5 if we get Mephiles of Greater Evil, so that choice that she said to Hawk, wait for that moment and leap, maybe that's going to come back in Dragon Age 5 with Mephiles as a villain. Maybe. It would be cool. It would be cool. That's wise up though. That is the nature of the Blight, and that is demons and old gods and blights and just what we think of when we think of what's left to answer and uncover in this game at its current thought point with, you know, thinking about the plot ahead of time. But it depends how long it takes after Dragon Age 5. Yeah, DA Caster, wee! Dragon Age 5, let's go! EA is the final boss, Captain Tweet. You're fighting a multiplayer version of Dragon Age. Can you imagine that? Every character has to fight themselves, or every protagonist has to fight their alternate protagonist in a multiverse universe. Where they all come together. It's like, right, Rook versus Rook. Have at it. Will Morrigan be back? I hope so. Claudia Black has said that she isn't back, but Claudia Black has probably signed an NDA saying that she cannot say she's back, even if she wanted to. We just got confirmation that the Inquisitor is back, and Alex Wilton Regan teased at it, but has not said a peep about, I'm definitely back. She just kind of went, So, I reckon Claudia Black will be back to play Morrigan. However, just because Claudia Black isn't back, doesn't mean that Kate Mulgrew couldn't come back to replace Claudia Black as Morrigan, now potentially being the next vessel of Mephial. Imagine, you see Morrigan, you get so excited, so hyped, Morrigan, and then you hear her speak, and it's Kate Mulgrew's voice. Oh, she's got the vessel of Flemeth in her. Morrigan as Flemeth, final boss fight. It will be torture. Be brilliant. I do think the old god baby will have some sway in the narrative of it actually being quite a tragic choice. Patrick Weeks themselves, as a family person, has said that they do not do the choice because they have their own kids and they just think about them in regards to that choice. And that makes me feel like there's going to be some kind of impending choice. Like the idea that Morrigan already hinted at an Inquisition that she's going to make Mephial choose her over her son, but the idea that Mephial is using Kieran to make her forcibly become the next vessel of Mephial, because possession can't be thrusted upon the unwilling. You have to accept it. Obviously, you could accept it if you had a choice, and the choice being the alternate evil. So I think that's going to have a really negative sway. I really do. As much as it did good for our hero in Origins surviving, I think that is going to be tragic as F. Kate Mulgrew is 69 years old. Nice. Anybody see her in Orange is the New Black? She was brilliant. I always make Morrigan drink from the well, so she's unfortunately screwed. Caitlin, same. Oh, man. I know we haven't even touched this article. If anybody wants me to, I'm not going to stream for too long because it's almost bedtime for me, for my little British I don't have a next thing to say to that. But I do need to go to sleep soon, unfortunately. Red. Any more final questions? Anything else in this article? I know we've barely touched it. I'll be making a video on it anyway, breaking it down. Balara looks brilliant. The customization sounds insane. We did fully break it down though. We spent like an hour and a half breaking it down. Sleep is for the weak. It's true. It's true. It's true. I know. That this must be one of the Sentinels that they said they were fighting Sentinels. Yeah, this is a Sentinel. So this is what these new Sentinels look like. And the location really does look beautiful. I get the high fantasy vibe straight away. Look at it. Look at it. So anyway, shirtless Solas. You know who I want to see shirtless? I want to see the Dreadwolf, like the actual physical Dreadwolf. I want to see Solas transform as the Dreadwolf. And then maybe after he's shape-shifted from his werewolf form, he'll then be shirtless. That's what that's how we're going to get it. Maple, how do you think a connection to the Fade affects a Dwarven Rook? What a good question. They have confirmed that we can't be a mage. However, Scout Harding has some mage stuff going on. So what's going on with that? Clearly there's some connection there. We're going to find out. I don't know how it may affect them personally. But we're going to find that out because Scott Harding now has magic, which is crazy. You are absolutely welcome. Emily, thank you so much for watching and tuning in and letting me stream for 3 hours, reading for like an hour and a half of it, and then talking about seeing Solas naked for the rest of it. This is literally, and I'm not even being sarcastic, this is what the channel was made for. I'm an introverted extrovert. I'm very extroverted about things that I love, and I literally, as you can tell, love just sitting here chatting about things that we all love so much, understanding everybody's opinions, you know, having really good, positive conversations. There's barely been any negativity in this with 1,000 of you watching. It's just a very nice community that I've cultivated, and I really am so appreciative of you all that you're all positive, content, seek to understand as opposed to judge and condemn people for having opinions, like I was talking about Solas's intentions, just explaining his point of view. And a lot of people just immediately get annoyed at that. And it's like, well, I'm just explaining it from a point of view that you haven't yet, may not have wanted to understand. As opposed to just seeing him as what you want to see him as. It's, I live life wanting to understand people, not wanting to cast judgment on people or condemn people for their opinions. Unless they're daft opinions. But we won't get into that. But no, like, the community that I've cultivated, and I've seen negativity, I see it online, I see the comments that I get, the flurry of comments of, thank you for being the only positive, and I'm not the only positive, but that people saying that to me, thank you for being so positive, and I really appreciate, as much as I am positive, the community that I occupy, the community that I am inside, that I am surrounded by. I was looking at the Naked Solas Darecaster message. Is a brilliant, brilliant community. And I'm so thankful and grateful that we're going into this next game with that mindset, because it would be easy for me to shrivel away or go into a shell and just make content and just go, blah, there you go, here's Dragon Age, whatever. But actually, I feel validated in my opinions. I feel like I'm understood. I feel like people care about me as a creator. And that is the best thing that any creator can ask for. I have this space where I feel like I can be myself, and that is all I would like in life, and I really appreciate all of you guys for allowing me that space. It really is appreciative, and thank you all, because you make me just as positive as I make you. So thank you so much, everybody else, for just, being a constant positivity, a constant place of reassurance and positivity and understanding. We all have different opinions on Solas. We all like him, don't like him, dislike him, want to kill him, want to or opinions on certain things in Dragon Age. And that's fine. But as long as you're seeking to understand and not be a dick, brilliant. Then you're more than welcome to just have your safe opinion and stay safe. My biggest core value in life is safety. I need to feel safe. I need to feel non-judged. I need to feel safe. And so to have a community that does that for me is fantastic. So I really appreciate it. Any other final thoughts on Solas, the Veilguard that we'd like to talk about? Let's have a look at some of the artworks that we've got on here. The tarot card of Belar looks brilliant. I need to do a full examination of all the tarot cards. I do have a lot of a backlog of videos to make. Like, everything is coming. Thank you, Nina, for saying I'm your favourite YouTuber. Oh, thank you. It's also true. People enjoy things. It's nice to be in a community where people enjoy things. We're not looking at this going, what's this? Like, yes, this is Dragon Age. This is what we want. This is what we've been asking for. And that does come with now a lot more with the fact that the game looks good. I know when the first reveal trailer came out, everyone was like, no, what is this? For me, I looked at it from a level of, this is telling us about the companions, telling us about the story, and I loved it for that. Yeah, the art style was naff. Yes, you could take it as what it is. But looking behind it, we got all 7 companions confirmed with full details on them. And as having read Twin Nights and being a hardcore fan, I was so excited to see that. Because it's like, shit, Harding's coming back. Nev from the Twin Nights. Flipping Lucanus not dead. Emric and Manfred from Down Among the Dead Men. Etc. Balara, who we've heard about with G. Young Hand. Like, so many things like that. It's like, I was like, yeah, the art style's naff, but everything else is so exciting. So I started as a donut. Everybody on the mainstream community being like, this looks crap. What is this? How is this Dragon Age? For me, like, yeah, but look at all the sprinkles. Look at all the nice, colourful sprinkles that are going to give me a sugar rush. Prism Lion, you will be able to go back and watch the stream later on, absolutely. It will be archived and in my live section, and it already has a thumbnail ready to go. Pet and hug the griffin. Exactly, Sarah. I cannot wait to pet and hold the griffin. What else did we have in this? Crafting Rook, we already know a lot about that one, to be honest. We know about exploring Divinity because we saw it, but the idea that Pride Demons are different, we talked about that at great length. So over here, combat. I like the combat. Reading combat, for me, doesn't do it. I need to see it. And it was good reading it, but I need to see it. I want to see. It's like, it's all good reading. You can pause, and you've got quick slashes and dashes, but I want to see that. It's hard to describe. It's not hard. I need a visual thing to see combat. Oh, thank you so much, Enalia. I apologize for butchering your name. But again, you're absolutely respected and appreciated in this community. I hope that you feel welcomed on this channel, in the community sections, and in the in the comment sections and everything, because that's what we want. We want to build a community of people who just care for this game and each other, really. I know it's obviously harder when you grow and get more people joining, but no, I do believe my channel really does target the right kinds of people who care for this game, the developers, the team, and are understanding. I get a large sense of people that are also from so many different diversities and backgrounds and countries. I love that. I know that Dragon Age historically has a huge demographic in America, and rightly so, because obviously it's a Canadian company. It's in North America, sorry. Rightly so, because it's a Canadian company, and EA is American, and etc. But like on my channel, I don't know if it's because I'm British myself, but I see so many people from Portugal, Poland, Brazil, Australia, Asia, all over the world. And so it's great to have a community that, while yes, we have a bunch of North Americans, that's great. We have a huge side of Europeans and stuff, and other places in the world that I don't really see that much of in terms of the Dragon Age space and other people's community, in the community as a whole. So it's really great to actually have such a wholesome and global community that are all going into this game with similar core values. I really like that. Just angered Canadians and Americans. Well, yeah, I don't know what I'd anger. See again, Brazil. William from Brazil. Nothing to be angry about, because I appreciate all kinds of target audience. I'm just saying that it's great that I have such a global target audience. Is the point I'm trying to make. Thank you, Melfina. I appreciate it. Thank you. Austria, Colombia. See what I mean? This is what I mean. Like, it's a brilliant, represented, diverse community that I feel like I have on my channel. Russia, Belgium, Spain, Ireland. It's brilliant. See, Poland. Germany. Nathan, what is the what? What? And then other things that they talked about in this. Got lots of gameplay. This concept art. I think it's a concept art. It's probably not concept art. It's probably more like maybe a storyboard or a conceptual piece for something like that. It looks like I forgot the zoom in button for a minute. I think it is just Solas using his dagger. Not just, but Solas using his dagger to destroy the veil. And then you have this blighted thing here, which looks like the elven gods coming out, or it could be the ritual crumbling sense of things, but it's before the intervention. No, maybe it's the statue falling. I don't know. I actually really don't know about that one. I could just see Solas wielding his sword. Let's zoom in further. Ooh. Okay. I live south of Bioware HQ. Ooh. It's definitely Solas. So what is it the crumbling statue? It looks like blighted stuff, gunk. But then you've got like weird shapes and like stuff. Sword. Solas wielding his sword or his blade. What did it sound like? I said I did say sword, but I don't think it said anything else. I hope it didn't. I hope it didn't sound like something else. Sword. What could sword be misconstrued by? I don't know. It's a rock fact. Yeah, a big blighted ball. It's a big blighted ball. Oh, how do we go back? There we go. And then we had... this was also very exciting with the Entropy's Grasp. With Balara confirmed as effervescent, and spunky. Which just means she's quirky. Yeah, no, she looks fantastic. I love everything about this. High fantasy with still grim aspects in this game. With that, folks, I am going to call it there. Unfortunately, I do need to rest up. Let me check if Bioware have tweeted. I know I'm stalling. Bioware have not tweeted. Let me just check again, just in case. Saw a snail today, effervescent. Oh. Sasha just tweeted, "This is what the channel was made for." Talking about Solas naked for 3 hours. Hell yeah, that is what the channel was made for. Oh man. So, moving forward, folks, we don't have any kind of schedule now on what Bioware are doing next. This was the end of their current, obviously more stuff coming this summer, of their current Bioware schedule, of their current marketing schedule of last week. I mean, again, it was only a week schedule anyway, but it was the gameplay reveal, the Xbox reveal, the gameplay reveal, the Discord Q&A, and now this. So, what I'm going to do is, in the next couple of days, is work on this video. Combine all the new stuff together for a good tight-knit video, maybe with some speculations thrown in there. Might make another video for speculations, just to keep the news and speculation separate. We'll see. I'll write it first. And then we'll see what else happens during the rest of this week when we get more news, undoubtedly, on Dragon Age. Either way, I have loads of videos to make. I'm making one right now, similar to my factions video. People loved that video, which I really appreciate. It just blew up straight away. So thank you all so much. Now is just the time that my channel was genuinely made for. But the companions video I'm making is looking at the companions' backstories. We don't know a lot about them, obviously, in terms of the gameplay mechanics, the story going forward, the things that they represent. Like, we know nothing about Davron besides he's an elf and he has a griffin called Asan, which you can hug. Besides that, we don't know anything about Davrin. Whereas Nev Gallis has 2 stories. We've got the Twin Tonight stories, and we've got The Missing. So there are loads of characters that we have complete backstories that people know nothing about, and it's because it was all in Twin Tonights. So my next video is going to be looking at all of the really interesting lore bits from Twin Tonights and the comics of each of these 7 companions, and looking at all the backstories and pulling them together, and kind of also giving us an indication of their character. You get so many indications of Lucanus's character, for example, in the Wigmaker job. So many. So from that, we will be going there. And then there'll be a few of them that we don't have, like Tash. We know nothing about. I guess that comes into relating it to the faction. But we're doing that. And yeah, there'll be a lot more to come from that. I know people want me to do massive story recaps of all the games. I don't know if now's the time for that, unless I wait closer to launch in case we get any more comics and books. I don't think we will. I'll wait until we get a release date until we do those ones, just so I can absolutely be 100% we're not getting any more external material. Just, I like to have everything complete before I do that, but we'll see. And then there's a bunch of like just conversation videos I want to do. I want to do one on the Soul Level enclosure, just a full intimate one on that one, and what the fact that we're getting closure in this game. I know I've talked about it on stream, but in a video, in a tightly compact video. And I might even do Twin Tonights reading streams. Danny's just said there, they need to read Twin Tonights again. Who would be interested in me reading Twin Tonights to you all at this chair, reading 3 stories at a time? Is that something that people would be interested in? If it is, please let me know, just so I can gauge it, because I think just in the run-up to launch, I would I wouldn't mind doing that, as well as all these other videos. I think it would be fun just to sit down and read all the stories from Twin Tonights properly, and I would need to polish my voice up beforehand and not read so fast. But yeah, people saying yes, yeah, oh, fantastic, right, yeah, okay, brilliant, right, well, we'll jump on that in July. I'll set that up. Damn, chat, go, okay, yes, okay, thank you, chat. I will set it, please. Okay, I will do that. Yeah, follow along. Oh, we'll create a book club. Yes. I know I can do Twin Tonights because I've got permission from EA already. They've told me, yep, you can do it. Audiobook, Era Jack. Please read me a story. Yeah, we will audible me, Jack. We'll do that. What about streaming your Dave playthrough? We'll see. We'll talk about that later on. With a sit down, a little cup of tea and listen to Jack read. Yes. Is Jack very comp? Absolutely. The only thing is, for book club, this is Dragon Age Book Club. We have to. Well, we don't have to all, but my Discord server is called the Tea House, so there has to be some kind of tea involved in the streams. Some kind of tea. Oh, thank you, Milfina, for loving my voice. I get insecure about it because I get comments on it all the time, but I actually really appreciate that people like my voice. For me, I'm not particularly bothered about it. I know I've got a lisp and people don't like that, and so I get a lot of comments about it, but I really appreciate that people like it. So, yes, to Winter Night streams, I'll work out a day. They'll also be archived, so people can watch them after the fact, and they'll always be there on my channel for whenever you want audible, or whenever you want Jack to audible you, if that makes sense. Anyway, yes, we will. We'll do that. Fantastic. I really appreciate that people want that. And I will devise a plan, and I'll look for a time. Normally, it'll be around my time, like 6 p.m. But yes, we will do that. Red Star, thank you for joining. Swallowbirds, if you go through the community section, you can join the Discord server and join the tea house for yourself. But I am actually going to leave now and rest up. So thank you all again for watching me talk about Dragon Age again another week for 3 hours and 20 minutes. Is Jack your real name? Yes, River. Jack is my real name. Jack Daub. Jack Daub. I need to write that. Jack Dorable. Yeah, well, that's brilliant. Yeah, okay, cool. Anyway, Thank you all again. We'll see you next time. I'll have a video out shortly. And yeah, again, I really appreciate you all listening to it. But until the next one, I